pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a thrilling night of virtual racing action here on iRacing. I'm Dave Regal in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth, and I'm excited to bring you all the live coverage from the legendary New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Tonight, the SNN Xfinity Series promises to be a showcase of skill, strategy, and sheer speed as some of the best sim racers from around the world go head-to-head in this highly competitive environment. iRacing is where the virtual meets the real, offering an incredibly immersive experience that mirrors the intensity and precision of actual motorsports. The drivers have put in countless hours of practice, perfecting every turn and mastering the art of virtual racing. The track is digitally rendered to perfection, capturing every bump, curve, and straightaway, setting the stage for what promises to be an electrifying race. We'll be bringing you all the action from start to finish, including expert analysis, driver interviews, and in-depth commentary on the strategies at play. From daring overtakes to split-second decisions, every moment counts, and I'll be here to guide you through it all, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, Glad to have everybody in with us tonight as qualifying is underway. It is incredible right now if you really think about it. I know that you folks can't see it just yet, but right now 42 drivers are in the session qualifying. Parker Retzlaff, of course, our real-life Xfinity Series driver. He finished kind of deep in the field on Saturday during the real race, but tonight promises to be much better as he finished 26th on Saturday here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and tonight shows everyone his tailpipe as we get ready to rock and roll. He just laid down a 29.97 second lap, which is faster than even our fastest laps last night during the Cup Series. Mike McConville right now registering a 30.13, which is still just about 300th of a second slower than last night's fast laps during race trim for the Cup Series. Of course, it's a busy night here, as always, in the Xfinity Series. Dennis Mickelson out here going, well, quite frankly, he's going as fast as he possibly can as we take a quick peek here at the 25. Now, we see Mickelson here on the outlap, kind of giving himself a little bit of speed here, warming those tires up as he hugs that outside wall. Now we're going to see him dive a little bit deeper into turn number 1. He goes 28th fastest the first time around. That will get him in the field. But, of course, that max driver count tonight going to be a factor. We'll see about that when we get qualifying completed. Of course, we see Dennis Mickelson here once again as he gets rocking and rolling. He is so Einlander in the number 25 as he comes out of turn 4 back to the start-finish line. Mickelson now goes, 12th fastest, laying down a 30.35 second lap. As always, glad to be with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as I am the voice of all things Monday Night NASCAR related. Dave Regal with you here for another season and another year of exciting racing on the iRacing.com servers as we take a quick peek here at our current conditions. 68 degrees and a little overcast here. That'll keep the track temperature down. Right now 84 degrees, which is a ton of grip in the asphalt. We saw the same thing last night during the Cup Series, and I personally can't wait to see what happens around this 1 mile racetrack here in Loudon, New Hampshire. So things just getting started here as Matt Mackin just went 29th fastest. 2022 Series champion Bennett Allen out here on his second lap. It looks like he negated the first one as we see him haul it down here into turn number 3. Bennett rolls it on out of turn 3 into 4, and as he comes back to the start-finish line, we're going to see where Bennett finishes this qualifying run, and he goes P2. Wow. From negating a lap to P2, that's an impressive qualifying effort out of Bennett. Eugenio Alonso negates the opening lap. Tony Burt just finishing up his second lap. Tony looks like he had some trouble with the wall. He's not going to lay down a legal qualifying lap. And Eugenio Alonso, who we're going to see some stats on here in just a moment, just went P3. And Eugenio Alonso sitting in P2 on our point standings, of course, just behind Brandon Minto. Things starting to get a little bit tight here in the point standings as we're here at race number 15. It's been a long season so far as we take a peek here. Some of our biggest movers right now, Brockton Packard just crawled up into 25th position on the points, and Mike Witt just dropped 4. So there are two big movers after last week at Iowa Speedway. Brandon Minto still leads Eugenio Alonso by those 52 points that you can see here on your screen, while Mikey Mack from Cape May, New Jersey, is P3 right now. So 1, 2, 3 they go, Minto, Alonso, and McConville on your points, and that's basically the same thing that we saw last night in the Cup Series, that, first, second, and third in the Cup Series coming into New Hampshire last night were, of course, unchanged from before. Last night right here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, we saw an incredible race that the checkered flag was brought home by Sean Rogers, who finally notched that first win of the season. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see what he does now that he's absolutely sealed the deal here. I mean, he was already leading us in our point standings, but now notches the win, which solidifies everything he's got going for him. 7 top 5s on the season, 14 top 10s for Rogers. So here in the Xfinity Series, all of a sudden things are going to start to get a little bit tighter, and that's not just here on the short track, but also in the point standings. We'll get a chance to talk to some of these drivers as we move through the night. Now, one thing I want to point out is that Brandon Minto, who leads our point standings out of Norman, Oklahoma, he's got an incredible stat sheet for this season so far. 14 starts, so he started every race. He has an average start of 9.7, an average finish of 8.4. And, I mean, listen, this young man here is just incredible. He's only got one win on the season, but that one win makes all the difference when it's time to go playoff racing later in the season. And, you know, I know that the playoffs are a long way away for those of us here in the Xfinity Series, but by the same token, I mean, it's not that far away as we look at September 30th for that round of 12 to begin. And, you know, of course, a lot sooner for the Truck Series because of all of the off weeks that are built in. Of course, just a reminder, tomorrow night the Truck Series is off, and I'm not sure if they'll be dragging me anywhere here on Sim Racing Media as, oh, that's cute. The graphic's going to stay stuck on the screen. Let's see if we can get that out of there. As we've got about 3.5 minutes left here in the warm-up session, let's see if we can get a hold of any of our favorite drivers here in the SNN Xfinity Series. In fact, let's get a hold of our pole sitter as soon as we get all this pulled apart here. In fact, let's go ahead and pull those qualifying numbers up here as we're going to try to get a hold of Parker Retzlaff. Hey, Parker, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do got a copy.
Hey, buddy, listen, I mean, here you are coming in on the pole tonight. Kind of a rough run for you on Saturday, but, you know, obviously against a bunch of amateurs here, you are just lighting things up. I mean, you've had a lot of success here in the Monday Night Series. What's going to be the strategy getting through New Hampshire tonight?
Yeah, I mean, my strategy right now is I didn't have a lot of time to work on, you know, the car this week or anything, so I'm not really fully sure what I got for a race car, and I was really confident about my qualifying speed, so I'm glad that paid off. But you know, I'm just trying to work on my car throughout the whole race, and you know, I'm hoping to keep the lead all night.
Yeah, I mean, your qualifying speed beat our best times in race trim last night by almost a full second. You know, so obviously you've got the number of this car here tonight as you swing it out of turn 4, crossing the start-finish line. The Funkaway 5 looks fantastic as always. As, hey, listen, whoa, that was nice. I thought you had it saved, and all of a sudden you didn't.
You want me to put on a show for you?
I mean, that's a pretty good show so far. Listen, that's what I think is so cool about you guys that get to do this in real life. This is the night where, hey, if you want to tear it up, at least it doesn't hurt you or the wallet of the car owner.
That's true. That's the very good part about iRacing.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, I'm going to have hit it.
I thought you were going to dirt track it all the way through. Listen, my man,
maybe
have
if I
fun
win,
tonight.
I'll give it another chance.
Have fun tonight. Good luck. And I'm sure that we're going to be seeing you here at the end of one of these stage breaks.
Thank you.
That, of course, Parker driving the number 5 machine tonight for Funkaway as he's in the JRTCR stable. As always, we're going to move him on out of there. And we also want to try to have a quick chat here with who's going to be his front row partner here. We've got a couple of seconds left. Bennett, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Howdy, Dave.
Listen, man, you're going to be starting P2 tonight on the outside of Parker Retzlaff. What's going to be the strategy getting through these laps tonight?
Probably just trying to save my right rear, balance out which tire I use most. You know, I kind of like living on, you know, off my right front, but then your car gets tight. But if you live off your right rear, your car's gonna get loose exit. So, just the key is just to kind of stay alive and hopefully be there at the end.
All right, my man. Listen, good luck. I know that you know how to get it done here. Of course, that's the voice of the 2022 M&N Xfinity Series champion, Bennett Allen. Bennett, good luck tonight, buddy.
Yep, appreciate it, Dave.
Going to slide him back up into the Joe Gibbs Racing stable as everybody just about ready to wrap up their their warm-up segment here. As we're going to see Parker Retzlaff and Bennett Allen on the front row, Eugenio Alonso and Mike McConville. A lot of these drivers tonight have absolutely lit things on fire. Looks like 27 of them were able to lay down that qualifying lap, so we're going to see how this goes for them as everything cycles through here with the graphics. Waiting for drivers to crawl in those window nets and get ready for the signal to fire the engines. As Parker Retzlaff here in the number 5 car going to climb in first. He's going to be joined on the front row by Bennett Allen. So Parker Retzlaff, your pole sitter tonight. We're going to see how he can do tonight after finishing 26th in the real race on Saturday right here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Bennett Allen going to start on the outside of row number 1. Row 2 featuring Eugenio Alonso out of Buenos Aires. He will be joined by Cape May, New Jersey's very own Mikey Mac McConville in the number 1 Chevrolet. Alex Princeton and Bobby Blaze are going to be in row 3 with Brandon Minto and Trent Curtis in row 4. Row 5 features Boston, Massachusetts' very own Daniel Moynihan and Kavaja Holt in the 00. Kavaja had a pretty rough night last night. We'll see how he does tonight at the Xfinity level. Erie, Colorado sends us Anthony Savignano in row number 6 with Aaron Mack from Fort Riley, Kansas to the outside. Row 7 is Michael Pilardi and Dennis Mickelson, Seleinlander, in row number 7 with Zach Osborne and Ron Fitting in row number 8. Row 9 is Nick Hansen and Brad Gum with Gabriel Lafreniere, one of our neighbors from the north end, John Crow Sr. in row number 10. Row 11 is Randall Watkins, Mr. 305 out of Miami, Florida, joins alongside of Derek Bacorn, debuting tonight, as a matter of fact, with Sam Bullen and Keith Black in row 12. Brockton Packard and Richard Pruitt going to be in row 13 with Ken Ron and Chris Claude in row 14. Zachary Vaughn and John Bawalda in row 15 with Ethan Ball, Matt Mackin, Chris Custer, Rich Jett, Sylvain Jolie, Alexander Gangler, and McAdoo, Pennsylvania's very own John Wilco. Going to be the starting 37 to take the green flag tonight. 200 laps the scheduled distance. We're going to have stage breaks at the conclusion of lap number 45 and lap number 90. 4 tire sets total for the event, so these drivers are going to have to take care of the equipment. The only thing that's left to do now as we work our way through turn 4 is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, I'm rock hard for some granite in New Hampshire. Race fans, it's show time! Parker Retzlaff getting the big jump over Bennett Allen as he goes side by side with Eugenio Alonso. These two drivers all season long have been battling it out, literally tooth and nail. Every time they get near one another, one of them winds up very angry. Eugenio Alonso quickly sliding back alongside, Mike McConville, as we're going to go on board with McConville. We can see right here as McConville rolls it out of turn 4 at the start-finish line. He's going to start, getting a good run on Alonso. He looks to the outside, maybe just for the time being to try to keep himself stable. He's going to roll it out of 2 and down the back chute, and Mike McConville runs P4 for the time being. Kavaja Holt in the 00 starting to get himself into a nice little groove here alongside Norman, Oklahoma's very own Brandon Minto. Of course, Uncle Scott probably getting ready to tune in here on the YouTube.com live chat. Make sure if you are watching us right here on YouTube that you give a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications. We're working on getting ourselves to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.com, and every subscription helps. And believe me, it's easy, it's free, and not that difficult, as we are under our first caution of the evening, and it looks like there's all kinds of upsetedness as Trent Curtis going to be coming down toward pit road, perhaps, as he went onto pit road. And now Bradley Gunn having a similar problem. Let's see what happened here with Brad Gunn. We can see Gunn here in that blue number 36 working the outside. That's the 99 underneath of Nick Hansen. And wow, the 95 just gives him a little bit of a tap there. And boom goes the proverbial dynamite early for Brad Gunn. We're going to see if we can maybe get a better view of that here from a lower cam. And we can see the 95, that's John Crow. As they bounce their way into the turn, Crow just catches that left rear quarter panel. I mean, I don't think it was very intentional. I don't think that it was that egregious, that's for sure. As we're going to ride along with Crow this time, we'll see how close they really got. We come down the back chute and into turn 3. Crow just seemed to think that he could split the 99 and the 36, and obviously didn't. Nor could he, that's for sure. As we get ready here to maybe see a couple of drivers come down pit road, make some early adjustments. Nope. Everybody going to stay just where they were. Our top 3 remain unchanged. It's Retzlaff, Allen, and Alonso. Trent Curtis, though, after qualifying in 8th position, runs in P4. Mike McConville drops a slot. He still stays in the top 5, running in 5th position. As we zoom in here for the produce place in Delhi, number 1. In fact, let's see if we can hear from Mikey Mack. Because now I'm curious what this produce place in Delhi is. It can't be too far away from me. Mikey Mack, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me.
Hey, Dave. How we doing, buddy?
Buddy, listen, I'm doing good, but I want to know more about this produce place in Delhi you got on the side of the one tonight.
Well, they just came on board for the rest of the season for us. Got a brand new sponsor, and we hope to do them proud tonight, man. This is the day job, and talked to my boss, and he was super excited about coming aboard, introducing him to the world of NASCAR.
Well, it's about time. Listen, let's just welcome him on down the aisle so he can accept the heart of Jesus into himself and decide
Yes,
that he's
sir.
going to get involved here with NASCAR.
Absolutely. Hey, if you ever need a great deli sandwich, come on down, North Cape May, New Jersey, right next to the Dunkin' Donuts across the street from Wawa. We have better prices than Wawa.
You know what's disgusting? I know where that is. I now know exactly where you're talking about.
That's excellent.
The question
down
that
to
I
the
have for
sandwich,
you
buddy.
is it better than AL&P over in Wildwood?
If this was a couple years ago, I'd say no. But A&LP has kind of went downhill. We don't do cheesesteaks. We don't do hot stuff. It's all fresh deli meat.
It's all fresh.
We get new
then on my
deliveries
next trip,
like
on my
every
next
other
trip
day.
down to Cape May, I guess I got to check it out.
Oh, I'd love it. Let me know. I'll probably be working.
Buddy, I'm all in. Listen, good luck tonight. You run P5. Get ready to rock and roll, bro.
Appreciate you, brother. We're going to put on a show tonight.
And I'll tell you what, Mikey Mack is always putting on a show. I love watching these guys race, and I'll tell you what, I love knowing that one of my fellow Phillies fans is out here in the mix tonight as Parker Retzlaff gets ready to bring us back to green. I'm always interested to see what some of these guys have on the side of their race cars, and sometimes I don't think that we give them enough credit and enough screen time, especially when they have a real-life sponsor. That, of course, Mike McConville does tonight. But the iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road. Parker Retzlaff gets on the pedal hard. We can see the whole rear end of that car squat down to the asphalt as he hauls it down here into turn 1. Eugenio Alonso side-by-side once again, rubbing his race. And whoa! Oh, God! There goes Mikey Mack spinning helplessly. Oh, it's almost like last night's curse has just carried over to tonight. Every time we talked to somebody or talked about someone last night on the air, we wound up under caution with that person. Let's see if we can maybe find out what happened here. Riding along with Matt Mackin first. Matt Mackin gets rear-ended by the 33. It turns Brad Gunn. This is deeper in the field. While that was going on, Mike McConville just got smacked. And here we are looking from just above. Oh, this actually started ahead of him, and he is collateral damage. That's even worse. Oh, I'm sick to my stomach for him. Let's see if we can look at this one more time, all from our blimp cam. We see the 26 and the 15. I told you something was going to go on between those two drivers. It sends the 26 down the racetrack. He bounces off the one, sending McConville a spin-in. McConville brings it to a halt, and he probably would have been all right until the 24 came in and gave him that death blow. But I don't think that we're going to see too much bad come out of that for McConville as he's going to run on down pit road. Let's take a ride with him here as he's going to come in. Let's see if he gets any tires. If we see the right side pop up, it's going to be tires. But nope, instead it's going to be repair only here for the one machine. Second caution in 11 laps tonight. Actually, technically it was second caution in 8 laps when the yellow flag came out. And as we work lap number 11 here right now, it's going to be Parker Retzlaff and Bennett Allen. Eugenio Alonso gets shuffled back into 4th position. You can bet dollars to donuts, as Grandpa Evans would say, that Eugenio is going to be coming for that rear bumper of Bennett Allen. And believe you me, these two drivers are not afraid to get the chrome horn out for one another. We've seen it for the last couple of years, and to me, when they're near one another, bad things happen, and that's just racing. You know, every now and then you just have a bad relationship with somebody on a racetrack, and in this league, it's Bennett Allen and it's Eugenio Alonso. Things happen. Pace car dipping away. We're ready to get back. Green flag racing as the flag flies. Here we go on the front stretch. Green flag racing once again. Drivers getting themselves all back into line. Trent Curtis climbing up into P2 as he's going to go just behind Parker Retzlaff. He's trying to put the moves on him to get up there, but Bennett Allen and Anthony Savignano ready to throw it in underneath. Bennett Allen gets under Trent Curtis, and he is hugging that yellow line. He's making the low side work here tonight. He rolls the middle of turns 3 and 4 and comes out firing on all cylinders down the front stretch. He gets in once again under Trent Curtis, but Curtis getting a great entry here, working that mid-level just on the inside of that seam between the low and the high side of the track. Anthony Savignano now getting passed once again by Bennett Allen, as Bennett Allen trying to secure 3rd place away from Savignano, who had a rough night last night. And you know, sometimes I think that's some of the advantage, if you will, for these drivers on a Monday. They just got to race this track, as Trent Curtis just went 30-32, as well as Parker Retzlaff. They are now tied for fastest lap on the racetrack. 30.32 for Trent Curtis, 30.32 for Parker Retzlaff. And you know, I think for a lot of these drivers, wow, look at the 63 of Brockton Packard, just ahead of what is sure to be just the hornet's nest from hell here behind him. He's got the 91 of Zach Vaughn ahead of Ethan Ball, Kavaja Holt, and Sylvain Jolie in the 08. These guys are going to have to find a place to go here on the racetrack, as now Trent Curtis and Parker Retzlaff both have laid down 30.31s. They are now matching one another step for step coming through this piece here tonight on lap number 15. But to my thought, for these drivers that have the advantage of running on Sunday nights, they kind of get themselves in a good groove, and it's not too different, but it's not exactly the same to get through this piece on the Xfinity car chassis as it is, you know, the Cup car, which of course we're trying to discontinue the name Next Gen, because at this point it is the Cup car, as it's been around since 2022. Daniel Moynihan running in 8th position right now. He looks to chase down the 31 of Aaron Mack. Aaron Mack trying to hold him off. He does so for the time being, but that opens the door for Einlander. Dennis Mickelson here in the 25 to start curling up here to the rear bumper of Daniel Moynihan. Parker Retzlaff just a quarter of a second ahead of Trent Curtis, as now they've kind of separated themselves, at least time-wise, on the racetrack. Curtis last ran a 30.43. Bennett Allen a 30.44, so just 1/100th of a second faster than Bennett Allen. Another close battle here on the racetrack. Chris Custer, as he has the 66 all wound up next to Gabriel Lafreniere, and the number 16 Oxmoor Chevrolet Camaro. So a lot of Chevys in this league, and really not as many Blue Oval Fords. We see a lot of Chevys. It's definitely a Chevy-heavy league, but more Chevys and Toyotas here at the Xfinity level and fewer Fords than we see at the Cup Series. Alex Brinson trying to challenge Brandon Minto out of Norman, Oklahoma for P11. As right now, Minto here leads him by about a quarter of a second. All of a sudden, Nick Hansen all over the rear bumper of Alex Brinson, ready to mbop his way up into 13th position, but Brockton Packard has other plans. He's going to work the low side here in the Niner 63 machine. As 4 Chevrolets in a row, Packard, Hansen, Vaughn, and Ball, before you get back to Sylvain Joly in his Ford Mustang alongside of Kavaja Holt. Kavaja Holt trying to hold off the 67 of Sam Bolin while they both chase down the 51 of John Bawalda. John Bawalda already down a lap tonight, a couple of them as a matter of fact, working lap number 20 now. On our way toward lap number 45. Parker Retzlaff, though, he's got a good challenge for the lead right now, coming out in the form of Trent Curtis as Curtis tries to swing it out wide. Now he slides between Bennett Allen and the 5, and now Trent Curtis going for the lead here underneath Parker Retzlaff. And this can only end in disaster if he's not careful, as Clarence Center, New York's Trent Curtis challenges professional NASCAR driver Parker Retzlaff here on lap number 21. Taking a look here at the battle box, Parker Retzlaff with about 0.3 of a second over Trent Curtis, who's still trying to hold on to P2 just ahead of Bennett Allen. We're going to keep it right here because Trent Curtis sitting really the meat in a sandwich of 2 incredible drivers here as we work lap number 22. Zach Osborne doing his best to try to work his way up closer to Dennis Mickelson with Brandon Minto in tow. And all of a sudden, Bennett Allen just shoots right on past Trent Curtis as he just secures away second position for the time being. A little Detroit Tigers action here for Bennett tonight. Curious why he would choose the Detroit Tigers, considering he's from Chattanooga, Tennessee, but it is what it is. I won't ask too many questions. Guess maybe he doesn't want to be a fan of the Louisville Bats, AAA baseball down there in Tennessee. Can you imagine what the Louisville Bats logo might be? Bennett Allen looking to the inside now of Parker Retzlaff. This is going to be dangerous for Retzlaff, who doesn't have a whole lot of time racing around Bennett Allen. But Bennett Allen just looked to that left rear quarter panel and thought, maybe I'll get the chrome horn out now. I don't think I'd do that, though, if I was him, as they roll out of turn 2, down the back chute. We're going to ride along here on the rear of Parker Retzlaff, watching Bennett Allen try to creep his way up here. And by creep, I mean he is absolutely harassing Parker Retzlaff on lap number 25. 20 to go here, this time by in stage 2, as Retzlaff trying to hold off Bennett Allen on lap number 26. Around the racetrack, we see Kavaja Holt here trying to chase down the 95 of John Crow Sr. Crow involved in a little wrinkle-dinkle earlier, but drivers have now gotten themselves into a really good groove tonight as Zach Osborne here in the 16 works around the low side of Eugenio Alonso. Eugenio still on the recovery drive after that initial wreck that he had earlier on the first caution. And maybe he's fighting some damage conditions here in the 26 as the 16 tries to take air off the left side of him. That's something we don't usually see here in the Xfinity Series at New Hampshire, but it's definitely something that's been coming into play. Now all of a sudden Eugenio Alonso getting a little bit closer here. Thought maybe he'd try to get between the 16 and the wall. He backs off wisely, though, for the time being, as Brockton Packard in the 63 looks on from behind. Looks like Brockton Packard basically going to sit here and just kind of hang out, watch this battle unfold in front of him while Parker Retzlaff, whoa! Nearly gets spun out. He's, what in the good Lord's name? Bennett, stay off of him! My God, Bennett Allen just brings out the second caution. Parker Retzlaff, let's see what happened with him and Bennett leading up to this incident. Bennett Allen comes up. He gives a little bump there. He thought he'd maybe just try to rattle his cage. They stick side by side. It sends Bennett into the grass. When he comes back up, he gets the chrome horn out for absolutely no reason, takes out Parker Retzlaff. And Parker Retzlaff, who, we were kind of screwing around in pre-race during the warm-up segment, he pretty much proved that he could dirt track this thing, and he did it right here. Bennett Allen, on the other hand, not so much, as he just wound up harassing Parker Retzlaff. And if I was Bennett, I would look out for that big red target on my back. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube.com. Thank you for making us a part of your evening here on Sim Racing Media. We're going to step aside and take a quick break. I'm Dave Regal, and this is the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series live from New Hampshire.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where we're under the third caution of the night after some kind of a crazy dust-up between the 15 of Bennett Allen and our former race leader, Parker Retzlaff, who now cedes the lead over to Trent Curtis. They're going to be side by side when we get going again. Bennett Allen shuffled all the way back to 31st. That puts literally everyone else on the racetrack in the crosshairs for Bennett. In fact, quite frankly, I would be terrified to be out on the racetrack right now because he is going to waste absolutely no time driving himself back up to the lead here in this race. 32 laps in the book, 13 to go when we go back. Green flag racing in stage number 1. Dave Regal with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Glad to be with all of you tonight. As Trent Curtis gets ready to roll off here, he comes out of turn number 4. The iRacing.com pace car is out of the way. Curtis hits the Geico restart zone, drops the hammer, and never mind, just kidding. We are going to stay under caution. Everybody was cranked up and ready, and now they add that next lap here. So we're going to do this once again. Charlene McConville in the YouTube.com live chat wanting to know what was the put to 15. Well, Charlene, let me put that into Philadelphia terms for you since you guys are down in Cape May. Basically, it looks like Bennett Allen went over to Kensington and Allegheny just under the L, bought himself a bag of crack, smoked it, and then decided he was going to try to take on Parker Retzlaff. Sliding into the broadcast booth with me now, the esteemed Alan Bergen, who has been out here banging the proverbial drum, waiting for those 4,000 subscribers. Trent Curtis, your race leader right now, watches the iRacing.com pace car peel on down pit road. One more time, Trent Curtis hits the Geico restart zone, takes a bump from Aaron Mack, and here we go. Alan, good to have you with us here tonight. Obviously, you wanted to hang out with me. I can't imagine why, other than I am just that cool.
You are just that cool. Hey, look, we're 34 laps into this 200-lap race, and I tell you what, I saw that incident, that last caution with Bennett, Allen, and Parker Retzlaff, and Bennett definitely wasn't in at that time. But here comes Nick Hansen, bopping his way up in almost into the top 10, or battling, trying to actually.
You know, I'm starting to wonder how old we might be. Wow, the 63 of Brockton Packard almost laying across the hood of the 26 of Eugenio Alonso. I'm starting to wonder if we're getting too old, that many fans may not know what we mean by bopping his way through anything as Nick Hansen works his way here in the 99. I think we might be that old.
I mean, when did Green Day end up on a classic rock station?
No, the scary one for me is when I heard Shinedown from Collective Soul on the oldies station. That's when I knew it was time. When Cracker is on the oldies station, I knew it was time.
Oh, no.
Kansas is on the oldies station.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Fourth caution of the night. Let's see
Yikes.
what happened this time around. It's been a busy night for the man in the stand with the flags. Looks like Sam Bolin may have been involved this time around. Let's take a peek. Sam Bolin here in the 67, just behind the 87 of Keith Black. They go 3 wide in front of him. Sylvain Joly, wow! The 16, technically the 06, of Gabriel Lafreniere just sent that hood a-flying. Let's see if we can find where he is in timing and scoring. My God. I guess Gabriel got his hood back?
Maybe. Gabriel Lafreniere is in 17th. Right
Gabriel
now.
got loose here just in front of Brad Gunn on the 36. And yeah, there goes the hood there, and thanks to the magic of iRacing, he gets it strapped right back on. That's going to trigger the fourth caution of the night before the end of stage number 1. Alan, it's been a busy night there for the flagman, as Barney has been waving his arm all the way off. Parker Retzlaff and Rich Jett, Bobby Blazer, Kavaja Holt, Mikey Mack, Dennis Mickelson, John Wilco, and Gabriel Lafreniere all coming down pit road for service early. So they're going to be giving up some track position, here at the end of stage 1 to prep themselves for 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, based on what we saw last night in the SNN Stacey Strong Cup Series with you and Matt Metler, this race here is sponsored by the yellow color, or letter Y. I love the Sesame Street reference.
I'm glad you do. Makes me realize who I'm working with. So listen, why don't you tell the fans what we have in store for them coming up when we hit that 4,000 mark on the subscribers.
So, all right, we're on the road to 4,000 subscribers, right? So when we hit 4,000 subscribers, I here in St. Louis, Missouri, drinks Yingling, Dave in south of Philly, South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he drinks a frosty cold Budweiser. And then he goes racing at Daytona.
Plus, we've got all kinds of giveaways and things here from Sim Racing Media as well that would be triggered by that. So make sure that you get your friends to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. And Alan, listen, I'm looking more and more forward to this now that we've added in that extra layer of me going cup racing for the Coke 0400 later this summer at Daytona. I haven't even asked Chris yet. In fact, let's see if we can get a hold of Chris, because I feel like he should probably know since it's his league. Hey, Chris, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Hi, Dave.
Listen, I just want to check in with you real quick. I don't know if you paid attention. I'm sure that you already watched last night's broadcast, but
I did.
I'm just assuming that I'm allowed to race in the Coke 0400 if we hit 4,000 subscribers.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
kind of invited myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
No, I heard you. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
well, there we go. See, I wasn't sure if there was still a spot for me if you had room, but
There's
I'm
a spot.
excited.
The only thing that would have come up even remotely is if it was in the playoffs. I try to keep people away that haven't raced in the regular season, but that's the last race of the regular season, so it's fine for sure.
This is Alan with SRM too. So you have to make him qualify. He cannot hit the ready to race button to start in the back.
I mean, he'll have to qualify, and it just depends on how many people we have. If we have less than 40, then it won't matter. But if we do, like we could on a super speedway, then he may very well have to qualify in. All right, thanks, Dave. See you, Al.
Later. Whoa! Hello! 19 goes around. Alex Princeton. I mean, look, this.
Absolutely could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a hot, slick racetrack, especially up here in the Northeast. So you're gonna have that happen, but nonetheless, it looks like we're gonna have some pit stops here, as we got an overcast
That's
day.
going to trigger the end of stage number 1.
Wow.
As now we've hit that, so Trent Curtis going to be your stage 1 winner, as he is literally shoveled down pit road by Anthony Savignano. 84 degrees on the track, so not too terribly hot right now. As Trent Curtis pulls it to an easy stop here, we're going to look for him up above us. Out of the JAR TCR stable, here is Trent Curtis, driver the number 13. Hey, Trent, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me.
Loud and clear. How's it going?
Buddy, listen, it's going good. Listen, you were up there battling the old teammate for a little while for the lead. Now you come away with the stage 1 win, as we, of course, end under a caution for incident. But how's the 13 tonight? What's going on, and what's going to be the strategy in stage 2?
Celsius Produce Deli and Produce Deli's 13 is pretty good. Could use a little more drive off, but that's just marginal. And I was battling Parker there for a little bit, and Parker's, real life race car driver. So obviously it's tough to get around a guy like that. He knows a lot of tricks of the trade, and I think the car's pretty good. I know it's kind of surprising here for me from a track that only turns left, but no, I feel pretty good about my chances tonight. New Hampshire's one of my better ovals, and looks like I got some work to do here. So hopefully we can get it back up front.
Yeah, you definitely have your work cut out for you. After that pit stop, you come out 11th position, but, you've got at least a couple of drivers who've got the older tires. I mean, not too old, but still, it's going to be a factor later on in this run. hoping that we can see, a long green flag run tonight. I know that we begged for it last night and it almost never came. But good luck tonight the rest of the way, and hey, maybe we'll see you at the end of stage 2.
I hope so, and I also hope you got some caution packages ready, because we're not having a long green flag run. I wish we would, but probably not.
Everybody screams their head off when I go to commercials, so I'm trying to ramble as long as I possibly can before I run out of breath.
I mean, hell, just tell them during the commercials, during the cautions, we'll probably have like 5 more of them before stage 2 ends.
That's true. All right, buddy. Well, listen, good luck the rest of the way. And on your suggestion, we'll get some good caution packages together.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So we're going to send him back on up into the JRTCR booth. It's always cool when you get to see some of these guys go out here and battle it out. But right now, with that Dunkin' Dark Roast running through his veins, Daniel Moynihan going to be our race leader when we go back green flag racing in just a moment. He's going to be side by side with Alexander Gangler, who last came down on lap 29. Moynihan not registering as having come down for a pit stop. So I'm not really sure what's going through his mind unless he's going to try to flip the stage for the end of 2. But, those tires have got to be getting ready to scream as we come out of turn number 4. And nope, we're not going to be going green flag racing just yet. They've extended it. The lights stay on in the iRacing.com pace car. Alan, these drivers are begging for a long green flag run.
Well, I mean, look, it's short track racing. We're gonna have bent sheet metal and hurt feelings, but there's 2 drivers, and that you know, one's in this field, and one's sitting here in the booth. That'll get your blood actually absolutely boiling on the racetrack, and one of them's me, and the other one has to be Alexander Gangler.
Gangler, I usually scream at you. I screamed at via text on Thursday night during the Elite Cup Racers Elite Cup Series, and I'll tell you what, buddy. Maybe I was just a little too rough on you. The thing is, I want to see, first of all, Gangler's driving my car. I was the last driver of the 8 before Gangler slid into the cockpit, and to me, it's a matter of pride, and I'm not afraid to let my fandom show. I mean, that's why I was just screaming at the 15 to get off of Parker Retzlaff. Here's the thing. The one thing that I've always loved about people in the broadcast booth that are analysts or play-by-play announcers is that at the end of the day, they're still fans. As we go back green flag racing here for stage number 2, wow, look at Bobby Blazer in the 90, getting ready to give the business to Daniel Moynihan. York, Pennsylvania against Boston, Massachusetts. They go side by side down the backstretch into turn 3, and the B-Blaze Vintage number 90 Ford Mustang is ready to do us proud for the 717. But, here's the thing. It's a matter of pride, and one thing that I've always liked, especially, if you look at Darrell Waltrip, or I just forgot his name, blonde hair.
Blair McCall.
Clint Boyer.
Clint
Boyer. Dale Jr. does it. They are still race fans up here in the broadcast booth. And, sometimes you watch them and Dale Jr. does it. Hey, what are you doing down there? Or you can hear Boyer sitting there going, no, come on, give it to him. Or boogity, boogity, boogity out of DW. I mean, every lap, every turn of the wheel is exciting for those people, and it's exciting for me up here in the broadcast booth. So when I see guys like you who are my friends, or or a friend who's driving my old number, in Alexander Gangler, or a buddy.
Whoa! Speaking of Alexander Gangler,
here it is. No, this is the curse from last night. I was just talking about Gangler, and he just spins it around. No, Gangler, don't. Okay, we stay green. See, there I go with it. But, when I see those people, and like a friend like Bennett Allen, who I've gotten to know over the years here in this league, I mean, it drives me nuts when I see you guys making bonehead moves on the racetrack.
Well, we're going to finally, now we're going under caution. It's going to show Gabriel Lafreniere.
This might have started around Zach Osborne as he went off track. Let's watch Gabriel Lafreniere here in the 16, it's 16 on 16 crime. Osborne punts Lafreniere out of the way. And with
He had it
Lafreniere
saved.
out of the way, Zach Osborne goes down and into the tires. A good save for Gabriel, but he quickly hops back onto the track and gets himself back underway.
Yeah, he had that thing saved. It looks like Gabriel was getting loose coming off the corner. He had to back out of the throttle, and Osborne just had nowhere to go. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, looks like we got Bobby Blazer up front, and Parker Retzlaff, Xfinity driver extraordinaire. He's in that second position. So, lap 52 of 200 here from Loudon, New Hampshire here, and man, what a race this has been so far.
Yeah, it's been a great race. I mean, you know, it's always exciting when you see some of these drivers who are not necessarily full-time drivers in this league make an appearance, like Bobby Blazer. I mean, Blazer, I know, would love to be here full-time, but he's just simply not. We're going to take a quick peek here at his stats for the season. He's only got 6 starts on the year, but his average start is 7th. His average finish is 15th, so he's got kind of a rough go there. But, you know, he's at least got 1 win on the season, which is always not a bad thing. That was at Martinsville, so he's got a real good shot here on another short track in the form of course, New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and then you got Parker Retzlaff back there in second position. Like I said, Xfinity driver extraordinaire, and he's done been in it with Bennett Allen, and he's recovered all the way back to that P2 spot. And I would imagine he's going to start on the outside. I think the outside is going to start coming in here pretty soon as these tires start to get a little warmed up.
Yeah, once this track gets rubbered up, that groove is going to definitely move up. The thing is, you start flirting with that seam that's right there between where the dark and the light asphalt meet. And when you start flirting with that, you are flirting with disaster. If you do it wrong, you're going to wind up sideways. However, Parker Retzlaff was literally practicing getting loose on the racetrack in pre-race.
Oh, man. But
You know, and-
none... Go ahead. You had a thought. Go for it.
You know, and the thing is, you can practice for so many different things, you know, in racing, and to be able to have the forethought to practice wrecking, that never even occurred to me. I mean, you know, you see guys when they show the in-car cameras where they quick pull their arms in and get their feet away from the pedals as the car is wrecking. You know, let the car do what the car is going to do. Don't hurt yourself. But, you know, you never think about anybody practicing recovery. And as I had mentioned with Parker Retzlaff earlier, iRacing is almost the perfect place to do that with, because here, if you wreck it, you just hit reset and get back on the track. If you wreck it in real life, somebody's not going to be happy in the accounting office.
No. But, hey, if the rumor is true, Dave, Gateway becomes a playoff race next year.
I can't get 2 Dover races, but you get a playoff race at Gateway?
Yes.
I don't ask for very much. I miss the fall race at Dover. Realistically, I think Dover in about mid-July would be exciting. I mean, that concrete would get blistering, and it would just be... You would watch tires liquefy.
I think we might have to
brings
make
us
a
back
plan.
through the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway on lap number 55. 40 to go in stage number 2. It's about time we get a good green flag run. But right now, Anthony Savignano seeing if he can change that, because all of a sudden we've got another hornet's nest here just behind Trent Curtis, as Curtis in the 13 Celsius machine hauls it down into turn number 3. He's got Savignano trying to make it 3 wide. Savignano's trying to put that 50 anywhere he can where there's open asphalt. And eventually that's going to cost him as we come down the front stretch, crossing the start-finish line and hauling it into turn 1.
Yeah, Anthony's we're under caution again. Goodness gracious.
This one's so bad that it's... I don't know who just got taken out, but I feel like it was many. I just watched half of my timing and scoring turn red. Let's see if we can start here with Brad Gunn. And
I feel like
it may actually be half the field. Looking from above, let's watch Brad Gunn working the inside of Tony Burt here. Tony Burt gets himself loose. He tags Brad Gunn. The 26 goes spinning.
Ooh. And there goes the 36 car. All kerfuffles break loose. Now we're back to the live picture here. Bobby Blazer continues to lead here. Parker Retzlaff continues to be in second position, and we continue to be under caution. As we are under caution for the 7th time on the night here. And right at the start of that green flag run, it almost felt like that Trent Curtis and Daniel Moynihan was kind of holding up Anthony Samagnano in that 4th position. Yeesh. And 10-4, but at any rate here, so we are under caution, like I said, on lap 58, and right now you got Bennett Allen, Alex Princeton. We got wholesale pit stops. Chris Claude is in, Matt Mackin, Brad Gunn, Gabriel Frenier, Keith Black is also in on pit road. Richard Pruitt there in that 24 car. He is 28th right now. Some laps down. Bobby Blazer up 5 spots from where he started. Trent Curtis is also up 5 spots. Right now, the Brockton Packard is up 20 spots in that 63 car. And Zach Vaughn is up 23 spots.
Bobby Blazer gets ready to bring us back to green. As we take a peek here, the iRacing.com pace car leads us down the backstretch. Lights still on, but Bobby Blazer in the B-Blaze vintage machine. He's got all kinds of different logos on this thing. We can see here it almost looks like the old GM Goodwrench. Well, the old GM in the blue square logo here with B-Blaze Vintage on the front of it. He's got ET on the front of it as well. All kinds of different logos here on the front of the 90.
Now that car makes me feel old.
Makes you feel old. Can you imagine how old it makes Drew Barrymore feel?
She was a tyke back when that movie came out.
I don't even think I was alive.
I was more than alive.
Checking with the research department, I think that came out in the mid '80s, and I wasn't born until '88.
You're only 2 years younger than me.
Well, happy day. We can both go to the bar. And apparently it came out in 1982.
Well, that movie's older than I am. June 11th, to be exact.
I think Drew Barrymore was about 8 in that movie.
Well, I tell you right here, Parker Retzlaff on the inside, down to the Geico restart zone. On the button, we are back to green flag racing, and Bobby Blazer brings him down to the turn number 1.
Bobby Blazer and Parker Retzlaff going to go side by side. Blazer with the edge so far. Apparently, you were right. That high line is starting to come in nice and gentle here as it gave Bobby Blazer the grip that he needed to get around Parker Retzlaff. After we've gone through this many cautions, it's about time that we finally get back to green flag racing. Aaron Mack works around Zach Vaughn in the mellow yellow 91. He's just ahead of Nick Hansen here in the 99 Clear Eyes Chevrolet Camaro. And a little bit of a disconnect issue with the 91. Hopefully he can get that squared away. Sometimes that can happen when these cars are running too close to one another. Obviously, when you wreck too many cars, it can also throw things into relative psychosis. The 29 of Michael Pilardi in his opening race, his debut here in the Xfinity Series, just ahead of Chris Custer out of Ohio in the Coke machine. All of a sudden behind him, my God, they're 3 wide. Kenron in the middle. Chris Claude squirting by, securing 20th position.
Oh.
Now they go 3 wide again. Chris Claude on the high side.
No.
Here they go. They're going to wreck.
Kenron
Kenron keeps it. Oh, Kenron. And we went under caution. Let's watch this from Bennett Allen's perspective, because Bennett and Ken were really going at it. And, you know, Bennett shoots right in front of Ken Ron here in the 33. Ron gives him the chrome horn and sends Bennett spinning. And I don't know if that was some kind of a retribution for what Bennett had pulled earlier in the race. But I told you he was going to have a target on his back, and there he is. And they get lined back up next to one another. We're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Riegel. He's Alan Bergen, and this is Monday Night NASCAR.
Preen Garden Weed Preventer and Preen Garden Weed Preventer Plus Plant Food block weeds before they start and are safe for use around over 400 flowers, vegetables, trees, and shrubs. Best of all, they give you 3 months of freedom from weeding in just 4 easy steps. You can apply Preen anytime before or during the growing season. But since it's a weed preventer, not a weed killer, early spring is best. Here's how. Start by removing existing weeds and their roots in the area where you want to apply Preen. Sprinkle granules directly onto dry soil, mulch, or stone so that they're evenly spaced. Within 24 hours of applying, integrate the granules into the top layer of soil or mulch or stone-covered bed. Finally, water with a hose or sprinkler or a well-timed soaking rain to activate the protective weed barrier. When activated, Preen creates an invisible weed-fighting barrier just below the soil surface that targets and prevents weed seeds from sprouting and forming roots. People and pets may enter the treated area once dusts have settled and the area is thoroughly dry from watering or first rain. That's it. Now you'll have a beautiful weed-free space and 3 months to do anything but weeding. Satisfaction guaranteed. Trusted for over 50 years, Preen is America's #1 weed preventer brand with weed preventers for every type of garden.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to
goodness.
the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where we just got back underway. A little accordion action on the restart tonight. Parker Retzlaff getting a jump about 0.4 of a second over Anthony Savignano and Bobby Blazer here on lap number 68. We're working our way toward lap number 90 for the end of stage number 2. We've had 8 cautions already tonight in 64 laps. That averages out to just about 1 caution every 8 laps. Dave Riegel and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Everybody starting to try to feel their way around this racetrack. Mike McConville here in the 1. He's watching a battle brewing in front of him. And you really got to check this out as they haul it down the back chute. Brandon Minto in 9th position trying to hold off Dennis Mikkelsen, Sal Einlander, and the 99 of Nick Hansen. As the 91 with another connection issue here, he gets out of the way, and oh, goodness gracious, here they go again. For caution number 9.
It's so frustrating, especially if you're Parker Retzlaff in that number 5 or Anthony Savignano or even Trent Curtis. You just can't get nothing going as far as a rhythm. And here is the caution. It looks like the 4 car gets a little loose, gets into the 66 car, and well, guess what?
You know, the 91 was trying to get out of everyone's way. You got to give it to him for at least being, you know, a heads-up driver, that's for sure. We've seen a lot of wrecks tonight here on the racetrack, and it's got to be getting frustrating for many of these drivers. Let's see if we can get a hold of Bobby Blazer, because I know he's one of those drivers that can get frustrated. Trust me, I am. As maybe he's not in a race chat. Nope, of course not. God forbid. Here he is. Hey, Bobby, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, listen, it's been a frustrating night down there on the racetrack. 9 cautions over 71 laps. What are you doing to keep yourself busy during all these pace laps?
Drinking and talking in the voice chat and hanging out with all of my friends in the team chats I'm in. It's disappointing because I think this track can produce exciting racing, but at the same time I'm making the best of it and I'm having a good time because I probably won't be able to make the next, I don't know, month or so of races. So I'm having fun. I appreciate all the fun racing up here between Parker and I and other people that are up here. So it's been fun racing, you know, but we gotta have that happen. So if there's one thing I learned about this league, even way back in 2022, it's that usually after the second stage things get ironed out and you're almost gonna wish for a caution. So enjoy it while you have them now.
That's the truth. Now the question on my mind is, what exactly are you consuming of the liquid persuasion?
Lots of water. I just have to stay hydrated for my activities.
I thought maybe it was something good.
No, maybe a little bit, but
just a little bit, he says.
Just a little
I mean,
bit,
you know,
yeah.
staying hydrated is important in this sport, whether you're in the
course.
sim world or in the real world.
I mean, yeah, you're not too far from me. You know how it's been out here, so.
I do. It has been a blistering couple of, literally like week and a half now. I was down the ballpark on Saturday in Philadelphia and was pretty sure my face was going to be ripped off by the sun.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty warm, like almost, I don't want to say unnaturally to instigate any sort of responses, but it's been warmer than I really kind of remember super consistently. So, but I don't mind the heat. I don't like the cold. So I was at Watkins Glen yesterday for the IMSA stuff. Shout out everybody who won. I have no idea who won. It was cool, and it wasn't too hot. But once the sun came out, it started getting real heated up. So, but I'm glad you had a good day at the ballpark, man. Like I've never been to the Phillies baseball stadium, so hopefully I get to go there sometime. Maybe if you're there, we can share a nice cup of water.
Yes, That's exactly what we'll share. A nice cup of water. Next
Yes,
time
maybe
I get
a hot dog or two.
Next time I get some tickets,
Free.
I'll shoot you a message. You hop on the old turnpike and come on over to Philly.
Okay, I'll actually hop on Amtrak and come pick me up.
My man, Pots and Pants. I'll see you at 30th Street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will see you there.
All right, brother. Listen, good luck. I know you're about to go back racing.
Thank you.
Well, looks like I've got a date for the ballpark next time I've got a chance to go.
Well, there you go. Hey, look. I would love to go to a Phillies game, but I would not root against the Phillies. It'd be a Cards-Phillies game, and, well, I'm a diehard Cards fan.
I saw Diamondbacks fans on Saturday. I didn't even know that they knew how to fly. How did they slither all the way here from Phoenix?
I have no idea.
If you're up here in the Northeast, assuming that you're not some kind of a transplant that moved from beautiful Arizona to crappy southeastern Pennsylvania, what in the world were you thinking? Oh, yeah, this will be a fun weekend. The weather's the same in Philly that it is in Phoenix. Parker Retzlaff comes out of turn number 4. He sees Barney in the flag stand. Barney waves the green flag again. He's going to wind up keeping that yellow flag in his hand, ready to rock and roll again, because I'm sure it's not going to be long before we see more cautions coming. We see Aaron Mack here in the 31. He works to the low side of Dennis Mickelson, Sal Einlander in the 25. Oh, the 25 bumps Brandon Minto, my God, in the Okie number 12. Let's take a look here at the YouTube.com live chat as we have a moment to do so. Retzlaff kind of pinched him down. Minto do better. That's from Austin Wilson. And I'll tell you what, Brandon Minto is going to do better tonight. I have a good feeling. Then Lauren Sidney said, go Brock. So I'm assuming that she means Brockton Packard. And here they go. There goes Sal Einlander. Dennis Mickelson into the wall. There's the 10th caution of the night. Now we're down to every 7.6 laps for a caution. Thank you, Common Core Math. And tonight it's more like Common Core Meth. Looks like he's got some black and gray smoke coming out of the 25. I'm pretty sure that may be the end of that machine. But we're talking about Brockton Packard here. Let's see where he is right now, running in the 63. Brockton Packard out of Zafrillis, Florida. You ever been to Zafrillis?
I have not.
It's a good town, good town. Charlene McConville saying that it's rough racing. Yeah, Charlene, listen, I could pretty much put this thing on cruise control, go to Wawa, pick up a coffee, come back, and still be right here. In fact, I'm going to look this up. I'm curious where Zafrillis, Florida is, and something tells me that it's somewhere near the Panhandle.
Lots of things happen in Florida, like Jerry Springer.
It's true. Zafrillis, Florida. Oh, actually it is not. It is closer to Lakeland. All right. So he's just off of, he's between 75 and US 98. Not far from Lakeland, Florida. Of course, the winter home of the Detroit Tigers. So, of course,
I mean,
Brockton Packard here with a little cheering section in Lawrence, Sydney.
Well, Dave, I'm going to be real honest with you. Right now, I got the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series on one screen, but I've also got the World of Outlaw Dirt UMP late models on my other screen here, and Bobby Pierce just drew the pole for tonight's A-Main at Independence Speedway.
Speaking of the Detroit Tigers, and not that I want to discount you for watching dirt racing, it's just something I have no idea what yep, sure, sounds great to me.
That's it, we're going to a dirt race.
All right, deal. Actually, I'm going to be calling a dirt race on August 10th at Mahoning Valley Speedway for 105.5 FM WMGH. Of course, you can also download our app. I'm going to give a little plug here to the radio station, as you can tune in and hear yours truly every Monday through Friday morning, delivering the news. Actually, it's Monday through Saturday now.
Nice.
Got my phone charger all tangled up here. Too many wires. But Monday through Saturday, you can hear yours truly delivering the news. And, of course, on August 10th, yours truly will be making his debut at Mahoning Valley Speedway up just outside of Lehighton, PA. On 105.5 FM WMGH. Once again, you can download the 105.5 WMGH app on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, the iTunes App Store, whatever you call it. But we'll be more than glad to let you listen. Some of the best music too. I mean, like, we don't have a whole lot of commercial breaks during the day. You get a lot of music, a lot of good music too. Like, you know, if you like those mid 80s through early 90s rock songs, I mean, we definitely keep that spinning around. And of course, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m., Polka Joe goes live with the Magic Polka Machine. We just celebrated 50 years of Polka Joe at 105.5 WMGH.
Nice.
Parker Retzliff with... Go ahead.
As I said, I tell you what, Parker Retzliff would like to celebrate getting this race going here on lap number 80. As he's going to take the outside line.
Retzliff with control of the field. He's going to work just to the inside, just to the outside, I mean, of Anthony Savignano in the Jordan number 50 Toyota Supra. That's the one thing that throws me off about the Toyotas. They change their model from you know, level to level. We have the Camry at the Cup Series. We've got the Supra here in the Xfinity Series, and of course the Tundra in the Truck Series. Parker Retzliff takes off on lap number 81. We're 10 to go in Stage 2. Finally getting ourselves toward the end of Stage 2. That can be good for everybody else, but right now what isn't good is all of this congestion on the racetrack. Drivers are going to have to start. Wow! Look at the, oh boy. I thought for sure that the 16 of Zach Osborne was going to ricochet up into the 1. He holds it steady. There's Bobby Blazer running in 8th position right now as we look down from the Sim Racing Media blimp.
Is Matt driving that thing now?
I don't think so.
I'll just say, because we don't play... Look, Sim Racing Media does not pay workman's comp if he crashes it.
If he
nor do we
crashes
pay
that
the
thing,
insurance.
it's all on him. Brandon Minto, wow. Brandon Minto in the 12 working the high side. They are going to go 3 wide coming out of turn 4 back onto the front stretch. Ethan Ball in the 96 squirts out just in front of Brandon Minto. Crossing the start-finish line, now he gets ready to take on Bobby Blazer. Here's Ethan Ball in the Linders number 96 machine, chasing Bobby Blazer down. All of a sudden, these two drivers ready to take each other on as we haul it down into turn number 3. Don't look now, though. Mike McConville on the recovery drive, running in 12th position right now. He's still working his way back up into the top 10. He's trying to get himself some more bonus points. That'll set him up nicely as we get deeper into the season. In fact, let's take a look here at Mike McConville's standing at Mike McConville's stats. He's got 1 win on the season, 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s. He started all 14 of these races leading into tonight with an average finish of 12.6. This man right here is a man on a mission.
Yeah, I'm just watching Mike McConville. It seems like he's driving. I don't want to say too deep in the corner, but he's driving pretty into the corner, and he just. I don't know. The car's going to start to get tight. He might want to start thinking about going another half plane up.
Charlene McConville in the YouTube.com live chat letting us know that the Phillies are beating the Tigers 8-1. That's what I was about to say when I was talking about, speaking of Lakeland, Florida, the Tigers right now trailing the Philadelphia Phillies 8-1. And that's not bad when you consider what they've come through over the last couple of weeks. The Phillies, of course, trying to finally overcome the Yankees. I can only hope for a Yankees loss just so that the Phillies can wind up, let's just say, what is going on here? What is this? I'm trying to log into Hulu, and it's giving me a tough time.
Well, right now, as your Phillies are, beating the Tigers, my beloved Cardinals are putting a hurting on the Atlanta Braves in the bottom of the 7th with a 4-1 ball game.
Well, and for those of you that are into watching hockey, it's a big night in hockey. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and everything is locked up the Oilers and the Ice Cats down there in Florida, as they are in Florida right now, tied up at 15 shots for Florida, 13 for Edmonton. And, you know, it's the one thing that always drives me nuts about hockey season. It drags us all the way here into June, and obviously the darn near end of June, as we work lap number 88. Parker Retzlaff leading the way here on his way to lap number 90. Second period with 5:50 to go. You know what? And either one of these teams in the Stanley Cup final would be fine by me to win. Edmonton bringing Lord Stanley's Cup back to Canada. The Ice Cats just because I really like the Florida Panthers. If I had to have another Eastern Conference favorite team that isn't the Flyers because they're awful. Nearly 3 wide we go. Daniel Moynihan in the 53. Wow, everybody blinked at once.
Not a Penguins fan?
I would rather have bamboo shoots driven into my eyelids.
Oh, man. Well, I tell you what right now, the Braves are 7 back from your Phillies, and we are 5 back from the Braves, securing that second wild card spot right now. But right now, you got Trey Curtis there in the 13 car working on Daniel Moynihan. That's for that second position there. And Anthony Savignano getting in there, trying to make it 3 wide. Almost wanting to push the envelope just a little bit here, lap number 90. Make that 91
Caution
yellow.
Comes out. Parker Retzlaff crosses the start-finish line, and that will end stage number 2 mercifully. Finally, a caution not for cause tonight. Parker Retzlaff comes across the line, P1. He's followed by Daniel Moynihan, Trent Curtis, Anthony Savignano, Brockton Packard, Nick Hansen, Zach Osborne, Bobby Blazer, Ethan Ball, and Mike McConville. So Charlene McConville's boy right here finishing in 10th. Casey 757 said, speaking of Florida, come on Panthers. Casey 757, obviously an Ice Cats fan. The Phillies beat the Tigers in Detroit 8-1, so that should move them comfortably here into another level here.
Well, the Braves are losing.
To lose. And the Ice Cats just scored a goal at 4:49, and now the Florida Panthers lead the Edmonton Oilers 2-1 in the second.
Nice.
Austin Wilson trying to, let's just say, start some caca, as he says that Brandon Minto said he was going to intentionally wreck people tonight. I know that that's not what Minto ever would say. I've known that guy for too long. As after pit stops here, we're going to get a chance here to talk with Parker Retzlaff, our Stage 2 winner. Everybody going to come down pit road. Looks like it's going to be wholesale pit stops 1st through 25th. Chris Custer staying out on the racing surface, as well as Richard Pruitt and Alexander Gangler. Little connection confusion, if you will. Coming off a pit road, not sure what's causing that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go here to Parker Retzlaff. Hey, Parker, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Well, we finally get to the end of stage 2, and you capture the green and white checkered flag. What are you doing to keep yourself busy during all of these pace laps?
I'm just chilling. I've actually been sitting here trying to figure out how to make this thing a little bit better. Haven't been very comfortable or happy with how this thing's been driving, so I just went for a big swing at it here to hopefully to the other side of being a little tight here. So it's either going to go really good or really bad here on this restarts.
You know, that's always incredible to me. I used to love it when Bill Belichick or when Nick Saban would come out after a game, and like Nick Saban would beat, you know, the Community College of Central Iowa 75-3, and he'd say, yeah, listen, we didn't play our best football. And I'm like, why? Because you allowed 3 points? I mean, you know, you're out here having a great night and you're still not happy with the car. That makes me excited to see what's going to happen here in stage 3 now that you've taken the big swing at the 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still got a very good car. It's just think that I could be a little bit better, and I'm hoping that I made those adjustments to make it a little bit better.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck here in Stage 3. Hopefully we see you at the end standing on the podium holding the trophy, that's for sure. We're doing our best to try to mimic NBC Sports. Hopefully we can do you some justice here in Stage 3.
Thank you.
As he quickly scurries away from the broadcast booth. Not that I'm trying to politic for a job, but just in case NBC Sports is hiring, I will give it all up.
Look, Dave.
Just pay for my hotels and my meals.
So, if you're going to come to a dirt race, you have to go to the Prairie Dirt Classic in Trailberry, Illinois. I think that's what we're going to go to.
What is that?
So, funny you should mention that. So the Prairie Dirt Classic is in Fairbury, Illinois, right? So it's 2 nights, World of Outlaws action, and it marks the end of the Dirt Car Summer Nationals for the UMP Modifieds. As we get ready to come back to green, Parker Redsliff is running second right now to Richard Pruitt there in that number 24 car. So basically, your Friday night is a qualifying night. Here comes Richard Pruitt up 24 spots down to the Geico Restart Zone. We are back to green flag racing here in Loudon, New Hampshire. Lap number 96. Here we go. Mooneyhan on the outside. Chabriano up on the outside. Trying not to get loose. 2x2 Noah's Ark style coming down the back straightaway. Parker Redsliff doing Parker Redsliff things.
Yeah, here's a guy who said that he wasn't happy with the way that the car was handling. He qualified P1. He leads us here on lap number 97. 103 laps to go at New Hampshire Motor Speedway here in Loudon in the Granite State. And I'll tell you what, things cannot get much harder than this as we get ready to dive into stage number 3. Trent Curtis and Brockton Packard ready to go side by side as Packard looks to the inside of Curtis. Packard now looking for an opening to try to slide around. Curtis gets loose, but Packard already midway through his turn. He was set up, so he didn't really have an opportunity. Michael Pilardi with the 29 just pirouettes down the front straightaway, and now he's got to try to scurry out of everyone else's way. Let's see what happened with him. Just as Daniel Moynihan laid down a 30-second flat lap. Watch the 29 here of Michael Pilardi. He gets himself loose. That's definitely the cold tire bug biting him right in the tailpipe here on lap number 98.
Yikes.
You can say that again. As I just said, Daniel Moynihan laid down a 30-second even lap. That's a 10th faster than Parker Redsliff and his best time. And I mean, I'm looking through the rest of these times, and nobody's even close.
Not by a long shot.
Peeking in once again on the Florida Panthers game here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 7, Panthers lead at 2-1 with 2 minutes left in the second period. Wow. All of a sudden they have decided to pick it up and really start to increase the pace of this game. I'll tell you what, no matter what sport it is, I feel like Game 7 is always, the highest pressure because that's it. But I'd be curious to know from the professional athlete standpoint, what would be harder, a Super Bowl where it's one and done, or Game 7?
Game 7 all day long.
And why do you say that?
Why do I say it? Well, think about it. Okay, so you only get one shot, right? If you're in the Super Bowl, you get one shot. If you're in Game 7, you get, 6 chances, and the team could be different every night. You're not going to play the same team every night as you would if you were essentially, if Patrick Mahomes had 6 chances to win the Super Bowl, I'm sure the other team would probably win. It would be a back and forth. Not discounting anything away from the NFL, they're one and done, but
See, I feel like the Super Bowl, because you are one and done, it all comes down to that. I mean, you play 17 weeks, then you wind up going through the playoffs, and let's just assume that you're the low seed and you come into the playoffs as the wild card. Now you've got to play 4 extra games before you can, really try to bring home that Lombardi trophy. Sorry, 3 extra games before you bring home the Lombardi trophy. And at any time you can be eliminated, where in sports like baseball, hockey, and basketball, you have a series that you're playing, so you've got some time to make some adjustments, where, the only time that you have to make an adjustment in football is halftime. And even Parker Retzlaff, and let's just bring that back to NASCAR. Parker Retzlaff said that he wasn't happy with the way that the car was handling earlier on in this race during stages 1 and 2, so he winds up taking the big swing at the adjustments, and now he thinks that he's going to have it okay. He obviously did for quite a while, even with Daniel Moynihan laying down that fast lap a tenth faster than Retzlaff. But, even during a NASCAR race, especially with stage breaks and the way that we do things today versus 30 years ago, you've got at least 2 opportunities that are scheduled that that you're going to be able to make some changes to that car.
Yeah, and a lot of that too, Dave, is, like to your point. So essentially the first and second stage is all about survival. You go in survival mode, right? As Parker Retzlaff, we were dealt with 2x2 behind the pace car, Noah's Ark style. And, to your point, like Parker said, you got two chances to make the car right. But, we're essentially running 2 heat races in a feature. Parker Retzlaff brings the field down into the turn 3 and 4 complex. Daniel Moynihan is on that outside. Anthony Savignano on that second row. iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn. Parker Retzlaff back on the loud pedal to the Geico restart zone. We are down and away, and Parker gets a jump. Oh, wow. What a start that Parker got.
97 laps to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Dave Riegel and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We're working our way toward 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.com here on SRM. And as mentioned earlier, we've got some really big plans here to celebrate hitting that 4,000 mark. Of course, some giveaways for some SRM swag going to come your way. To the fans, of course, we'll have those offered out to you when we hit that 4,000 number. So some free swag coming out. Plus, our St. Louis, Missouri native, Alan Bergen, he's going to tip back. Whoa, boy! Hold on to it, 90. Bobby Blazer dirt tracking his way through turns 1 and 2, back onto the back chute. But our St. Louis native going to tip back. And basically, it's going to be your night to come to Jesus and accept Yuengling as your Lord and Savior of beer. And you'll know that it's better than anything you've ever had in your life. I, on the other hand, will be, oh, God, there goes McConville. All I'm trying to do is plug the 4,000 subscriber thing, and McConville just gets himself locked up in a disaster here. As Charlene cannot be happy watching that. Here's McConville with Ethan Ball on the high side. They haul it into 1. McConville with a hell of a run underneath Nick Hansen in the 99, who just bumps him out of the way and spins him back into the front of Sylvain Jolie in the 08 Axon LED Ford Mustang. After all of the work that Mikey Mack has put into the 1 machine tonight, that's got to be more frustrating than it being a Keebler Elf getting demoted to Fudge Packer.
Well, not to steer thunder, but Hansen just bopped McConville right out of his way.
And to your point, and Chris Claw, and I do apologize, I'm going to ruin this for you for a moment. Looks like right now the Atlanta Braves trailing the St. Louis Cardinals 4-1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Hernandez on the bump for Atlanta, trying to stop the hemorrhaging.
Hey, look.
And right now that's going to bring up Brendan Donovan, who has a 266 average, who's now going to bunt his way onto first base. Hernandez throws, and wow. Donovan beats the throw and bunts his way onto first base.
I mean, that's how we do it in St. Louis.
Speaking of St. Louis, so when we hit that 4,000 subscriber mark, you're going to have a Yingling beer. I'm going to drink that urine water that you call Budweiser because I'm a man of my word.
I'll come in to see this, and you're going to pray to the porcelain.
Not only that, included with the SRM swag that's going to be available for our fans in the YouTube.com live chat is we're going to have some free giveaways. Also, yours truly, Dave Regal, here will be climbing back into the cockpit of the race car and go racing at Daytona in the Coke 0400 on Sunday Night NASCAR. I will be leaving the broadcast booth, climbing back behind the wheel for the first time, and I couldn't even tell you how long it's been since being an open competition, and I now am fully I am granite hard.
Well, and that's funny, as I tell the other members of our team, I feel like every week the ante gets upped.
The ante gets up, but we still hover here at 3,990. Folks, how hard is it to hit the subscribe button? It's easier to hit the subscribe button than it is to vote in this country. Just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, and I was talking to a couple of guys. What do we do when we get to 5,000? Do I fly to Philly?
At 5,000, I don't know, but I feel like it may be something illegal. Like I'm going to walk through North Philadelphia and nothing but, flip-flops and a smile. It's not like I said I was going to take a bump of cocaine.
Well, so one team member had the idea of you of us shooting a little something underneath the arch, but that would require airfare and hotel and
that's fine. I can get to St. Louis for that. I want to go to St. Louis to see the first steel bridge constructed in America,
which I believe would be the Eads Bridge.
It is. And it was built with Carnegie steel from right here in Pennsylvania. And, of course, for the marketing side of it, they actually walked across an elephant to show people that it was safe to cross because people were terrified to cross the Mississippi at that point.
Yes.
And you thought that I wouldn't know such useless information.
Well, look, regardless, if you end up coming to St. Louis, I'm going to be your personal tour guide.
Sean Rogers already volunteering to push me to the win in the Cup Series when I come back in August and race at Daytona. So I already know that I got a drafting partner. Let's go. Sean Rogers with Amanda Price cheering him on from the YouTube.com live chat. The 44, and I don't even know what number I'd have to go with. I don't even know what's available in that league right now.
Well, I tell you what, right now the lead is unavailable as Parker Retzlaff leads the 13 car of Trent Curtis and Daniel Monahan, along with Anthony Savignano there, and that's your top five. Your top four, rather. Nick Hansen bopping his way up to the top five. As I just made Dave feel old.
It's fine. I'm watching Sean Rogers over here. Sean Rogers already giving me the hell yeah. Listen, man, if I'm going to have somebody bump me to the win, it's going to be Sean Rogers. I've already got to start practicing. Folks, we need you to get to 4,000 before, the August race there at Daytona International Speedway. 111 laps in the books, though, here tonight in the Granite State at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Parker Retzlaff leads the way right now with Trent Curtis's teammate running P2. Anthony Savignano and Daniel Moynihan duking it out here for P3 as Savignano hauls it down into 1 and 2. And as he rolls out of 2, he's going to get a bump here from Moynihan. Taking a little bit of the apron with him is Brockton Packard in the 63 here on lap 112. Positions starting to be exchanged right now like a sweater after Christmas, as now Aaron Mack swaps around Brandon Minto here, and now Minto brings back the ugly Christmas sweater again, and he takes it away here for 8th position. They are just out here trading back and forth. It's like playing tag with one other person.
It is, and I am a fan of the ugly Christmas sweater. But I tell you what I'm even more a fan of, Dave, is right above my setup here, I actually have a Christmas Story memorabilia.
You've got the leg lamp.
I do. I got 2 of them. What are you talking about? One at home and one at work.
I want to say somewhere in and around like 20 years ago now. Oh my God. 20 years ago, my stepmother bought me a leg lamp that I had for more than a decade, and it finally died probably 2016. I was very sad when she died.
Oh, no. Look, I am the guy that will watch all 24 hours of A Christmas Story on TBS. And I actually did the math. So if you actually watch the TNT, the channel TNT, it's technically 48 hours.
If you switch back and forth, the thing that I wind up doing every year with that movie is I catch some of it, I catch the very beginning of it, that first like 45 minutes. You gotta go check the turkey or whatever. You miss some of it. You switch back to the TNT side, which is about a half hour, 45 minutes behind. Now you can get caught back up. You switch back to TBS, and if you play your cards right, you watch the whole movie between the two networks.
I mean, you're not wrong.
My favorite thing, though, is at the very end in the Chinese restaurant. What does the guy who runs the Chinese restaurant do with the duck head?
He chops it off. Chops the head off of the duck.
And puts it in his pocket.
That movie never gets old. I did watch the second one.
My stepdad, God rest his soul, is who got me into that movie, and I am so thankful for it because now I've got my holiday tradition between that and Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. Both of those movies were his 2 favorite holiday movies, and you know what? I get it. I get it 1,000%.
Look, it's not Christmas until those 2 movies get played in my house.
I agree. I'm right there with you. You know who's not right there with you? Parker Retzler. He's 0.2 of a second over top of Trent Curtis. And Curtis, here as we go on board, is trying desperately to get up there. But, watching the old teammate here pull away, Curtis is starting to close that gap. Now he's 0.2 of a second behind. He's got a good exit here as we look here to the inside coming out of 4. He keeps it nice and snug here coming out of 4. Gets a good run, and now he's got to find a way to knife his way under the 5.
Oh, man. But here comes, Trent Curtis is battling Parker, but here comes Anthony Savignano and Brockton Packard. This is a battle for 3rd right now, and Monahan's actually going to get in there and get in this mix right here.
Looks like I've got travel plans all up and down the East Coast. I've just been told that when I go to Cape May, I can go to the local brewery, and rather than a Bud, I can have a choice of what they brew down there at the Cape May Brewery. I've had some of their beer that's been imported here to Montgomery County in Pennsylvania, and I'll tell you what, the Cape May Brewing Company, I think that's what it's called. God, now I'm going to have to look. I think it's the Cape May Brewing Company or Cape May Brewery, one of the two. Some fabulous brews there out of Cape May, New Jersey. Got to be honest, it's tasty. Brockton Packard, though, here, he's now just crawled up onto the podium. Whoa! Making contact with Anthony Savignano in the 50. Savignano holds his ground, rolling out of turn number 2. He's not going to try to retaliate against the 63. The 63 gets loose coming out of 2, coming down the back chute. Here with 80 laps to go at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. Want to thank everybody for tuning in and keeping us entertained here in the broadcast booth. 95 views tonight. Let's get that up over 100 for the sake of the argument. And, of course, remember to subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and remind you, that way you can be reminded every time we go live here on Sim Racing Media. And, folks, we've got 6 nights of racing. We've got a new broadcast coming your way this week once again. Take us through that, and who is that, Alan, the new broadcast? It's Plates and Roads?
Oh, it's Road and Plate, and then you have Matt Metler and Shane Lake on that broadcast. So tomorrow night we have the Racers Elite Truck Series. They are in Martinsville. Wednesday night, Angel Santiago goes Xfinity Racing with the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. They're in Watkins Glen. Thursday night, we're in Pocono with the same series and with Road and Plate. Tuesday night, we also have XMS there at Road America Tuesday and Wednesday that will have Liam Ervig and Jordan Brockel. Friday, we're off. Saturday, we have ISNF wrapping up their season. A great points battle going on there. I think Angel Hernandez is actually going to go ahead and win that championship Saturday. ECR Elite Cup Racing. And Dave, on that one, I just literally signed up for that one. I said, you know what? I gave it a shot at Watkins Glen over the weekend with those guys over there. And on that show, you have Liam Ervig and Emily Arias on those racing shows. SEL should be coming back in the fall, and Roughneck has since then moved on to have. You can catch Roughneck Racing on Bleecker Farms TV.
Don't look now, but right now your St. Louis Cardinals are in danger of losing this ball game at Busch Stadium. Right now, bases full of Braves with one out. Owen won the count to Loriano, that is, as Halsey's on the bump, and Loriano looks out to Halsey. This could be an interesting end to this game here in the top of the ninth, as they can go up one. And a base hit into right center field. That'll drop in and score a pair of runs off of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. My God.
Doctor.
So the St. Louis Cardinals doing everything they can to lose to Chris Claude's Bravos there from Atlanta. While Parker Retzlaff has control of the field right now as we are under caution. Looks like Matt Mackin may be limping away here. Let's take a look as he gets back onto the racetrack. From the SRM, Eye in the Sky, Mackin here gets a little bit of help there from the 29 of Michael Palladay and just sent down into the grass. That wasn't very nice.
No.
In fact, let's see if we can go up here and watch this again from Mackin's rear bumper. We can see Pilardi here just give him a little bit of a nudge, and here he goes. There's Matt Mackin from Cleveland, Ohio, down into the grass. And, you know, I'm always pulling for people like Mackin. He's been in this league for such a long time, and I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for the work that he has put in this league over the last several years. Now, with less than 80 to go, oh, a deke move from Parker Retzlaff. Let's look at that again, because that bids the watching, as everybody just about had a coronary. Retzlaff with 72 laps to go sets himself up like he's going to come down pit road, and boop,
whoa,
whoop, never mind.
You know what, guys, I'm just going to stay out.
That's fantastic. Oh my God. Oh, never mind. I thought they were going to... Never mind. Oh, just kidding. It's now 4-3 Cardinals.
Oh. The cardiac card. That's what we call them.
You know, I have never had a job where I've been invited to so many different places. St. Louis, Cape May, Miami, Newton, Iowa, Alpena, Michigan, San Diego.
Don't forget about Fairbury, Illinois.
Yeah, and we're going to Illinois. Illinois.
Hey, look. You know.
I just want to go to Bloomington, Illinois, so I can see where Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake had his doctor's practice.
I mean,
I'd also like to go to Ottumwa, Iowa. The fictional home of one Walter O'Reilly.
Gosh, I missed that show. That was assembled to go to bed when you hear do 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 do.
For me, that was a symbol to go ahead and get the Mountain Dew out. I was staying up for a little while longer. I'm waiting to see if your Cardinals blow chunks all over the field here at Busch Stadium. That'd be fantastic.
I mean, it's the top of the ninth. And it would not surprise me.
KMOX?
I got the crap, what is it? Google giving me the updates. But KMOX is the radio home of the St. Louis Cardinals, so.
Yep. First place, the great Joe Buck.
Yes.
Worked.
So look, as a child on family camping trips, we would listen to Mike Shannon and Jack Buck on all the Cardinals baseball games on the radio.
For all of those Joe Buck haters out there, and I know there's a lot, I encourage you to read his book, Lucky Bastard, that he wrote a few years ago. It's a fantastic book, and really, I think it peels back some of the layers. Wow. You just looked at a 2-1 fastball right down the heart of the plate. You deserve to go sit down. Parker Retzlaff here behind the iRacing.com pace car. Maybe we're done pacing for the night as we're 14 cautions in the books. Parker Retzlaff with control of the field comes into the Geico restart zone, drops the hammer, and here we go.
There we go. Parker Retzlaff doing Parker Retzlaff things. Here comes Broxton Packard and Trent Curtis doing their thing and trying to see what they have for Parker Retzlaff.
Parker Retzlaff seems like he's just got too much right now as we ride along here with Brockton Packard in the 63. As we go through this turn, we're going to watch the camera rotate itself here just to the right, watching Trent Curtis in the number 13 Celsius machine, and now Daniel Moynihan out of Boston, Massachusetts in the Duncan machine. I'll tell you what, America apparently runs on Duncan. I got news for you. He's got Duncan Midnight Coffee running through his veins right now.
Well, as we're watching Broxton Packard and Ken Ron registers his crash in the live timing, but the Cardinals hang on to win 4-3. Oh my.
I'm not sure how Ken Ron registered as having crashed and then went P1 on the standings. Let's see what whoa. I don't know what just happened here. In fact, let's go back to the replay while we have the time. My goodness. As we're going to go high here to the blimp and watch this from above. Parker Retzlaff bounces off the 23, washes up the track, catches the rear of the 23 again, and Matt Mackin did not see it coming. We're going to run this back and watch this from Matt Mackin's perspective, because I can guarantee you dollars to donuts that he didn't see this coming at all as we go on board here with Mackin. He's giving it throttle, rolling out of 3 and 4. He sees the wreck in front of him. He kind of assumes that oh my God. He never saw it coming.
If anybody's got a number to a good chiropractor, just send them our way.
We stay green flag racing here on lap 136. 65 to go now at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Parker Retzlaff and Trent Curtis lead at 1 and 2. Curtis starting to fall back about 0.6 of a second, but he's trying to close in right now on Retzlaff. Daniel Moynihan in P3 trapped right now behind Chris Custer, your lucky dog position driver, as he's down a lap. Chris Claude right now, last car on the lead lap. So 21 cars here on the lead lap. That's not a bad thing, all things considered. Checking in elsewhere in the world of sports. Here in the third period of Game 7, the Florida Panthers lead the Edmonton Oilers 2-1 with 18:40 left in the NHL season.
Nice.
Sylvain Joly working the inside right now of Zach Osborne in the 16. We come down the front stretch, and Sylvain looking to try to get a hold of that 9th position. He gets Osborne locked back behind him in 10th position right now, but Osborne not going to sit there for very long, as now he looks here to the left side of Sylvain Joly. Zach Osborne out of Claremont. Pretty sure that's not, no, it's Claymont, Delaware. But outside of Claremont here, as he looks to try to seal away 9th position once again, as he'd like to get that back from Sylvain.
Whoa, we got a car around. That's Chris Custer. And
Chris Custer in the 66 goes around. He's got to be getting himself back on the racing surface. Let's take a look and see what happened. Here's Custer just behind Anthony Savignano. He was just the lucky dog. Now he's kind of like the screwed pooch, as he got taken by Sylvain Joly and now backs into the safer barrier just outside of turn 1.
I like that. You've been practicing.
No, that one just came right out of nowhere.
You think he's in your sleep.
I mean, there are times where I sit there and I watch things and I come up with it during the day and I think, all right, I'll work that in later tonight. Speaking of later tonight, we're going to go on commercial break right now, but we'll be right back for the conclusion of our race here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm Dave Regal, he's Alan Bergen, and this is Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing.
Care. It has motivated us from day one. It's in the meals we make, the hugs we give, and the miles we've traveled. We care for families so they can care for theirs. From our staff and volunteers who provide it every day, to our donors and partners who make it all possible, to the families who've made lifelong connections. Together, we've created a global community of care, one that provides emotional, mental, and financial support for families and their children. And all this care has turned dogs into best friends, long nights into brighter days, moments into milestones, strangers into family. We've built a lot at RMHC. More smiles, more hope, more care. And we plan to build even more. Join us as we celebrate 50 years of RMHC.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As They're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Apromitis is ahead. It's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Preen Garden Weed Preventer and Preen Garden Weed Preventer Plus Plant Food block weeds before they start and are safe for use around over 400 flowers, vegetables, trees, and shrubs. Best of all, they give you 3 months of freedom from weeding in just 4 easy steps. You can apply Preen anytime before or during the growing season. But since it's a weed preventer, not a weed killer, early spring is best. Here's how. Start by removing existing weeds and their roots in the area where you want to apply Preen. Sprinkle granules directly onto dry soil, mulch, or stone so that they're evenly spaced. Within 24 hours of applying, integrate the granules into the top layer of soil or mulch or stone-covered bed. Finally, water with a hose or sprinkler or a well-timed soaking rain to activate the protective weed barrier. When activated, Preen creates an invisible weed-fighting barrier just below the soil surface that targets and prevents weed seeds from sprouting and forming roots. People and pets may enter the treated area once dusts have settled and the area is thoroughly dry from watering or first rain. That's it. Now you'll have a beautiful weed-free space and 3 months to do anything but weeding. Satisfaction guaranteed. Trusted for over 50 years, Preen is America's #1 weed preventer brand with weed preventers for every type of garden.
So hi, my name's Christy. I am a wife, a mother of 3 children. I am a sister and an aunt of lots of nieces and nephews, and I'm also a substitute teacher. So my everyday life changed by going to appointments, a lot of appointments, a lot of scans. During the treatment, my body just got weaker, so I wasn't as active with my children and with my husband. So I was laying on the couch a lot more. I'm an active person, and so that just didn't sit well with me, but that's how it changed. My body was just weaker, and I couldn't do the things that I used to do. So there was a lady in where I live from a local church who had heard that I had breast cancer, and she sent me a letter just reaching out for support, and she actually said that she's the one that told me about Trisha's Hope and that I should contact them, so I did. So specifically, I wasn't able to really work during my treatment or anything like that, so the grant that I was able to get helped me pay my bills, provide gas money. I was driving to and from treatments, and so it helped a lot with bills and everything. I would just say I am so grateful for Trisha's Hope and for all the people that have donated, because I don't know what I would have done without them.
Welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where we're coming back from our second caution. Another wreck breaking loose while we were under caution and commercial a moment ago. Chris Custer caused the first one. We come back, and of course then another wreck happens while we were sitting here at commercial involving Zach Osborne. So 148 laps in the books, 52 to go when the green flag flies this time by.
Yeah, and, as we get ready to come back to green flag racing here, you got Trent Curtis and Parker Retzlaff on the front row. I wondered, the last restart while I was under caution, I noticed that the outside line got backed up, and it's so frustrating as a driver iRacing.com pace car pulls off the turn and down the pit road, and here we go. Green flag goes, and Trent Curtis gets a way better start this time. Driver out of Clarence Center, New York. And he's going to slide up just a little bit.
Little connection issue there for Curtis in the 13. As there he goes blinking again. That's got to be frustrating for Anthony Savignano, because right now he has no idea where the 13 is. The 96 as well. The 13 blinking out for long stretches of time. He's got to be careful, because every time he disappears, that screws up the 96 and the 50 as they're trying to work their way here on lap 150 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's so frustrating as a driver. And the best thing right now Trent Curtis can do is communicate where he's at on the racetrack. That way, Brockton Packard, Ethan Ball, even Anthony Savignano doesn't think that he's there or not there, but he really is.
Yeah, the question becomes, where does Trent Curtis go, as we're going to keep a close eye on him. Parker Retzlaff right now leading Curtis by about 0.4 of a second. Sylvain Joly, though, he's chasing down Mike McConville, who has now worked his way back up into 7th position. The thing with McConville is that every time he starts making any kind of steam and starts to move forward in this pile, that's when dumb and bad things happen to him in the 1 car. As he chases down the 99 of Nick Hansen trying to hold McConville here underneath him. Mikey Mack not going to be swayed whatsoever as he works here just behind Hansen. We're going to go on board now with Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey. New sponsor on board. We had talked about it just a moment ago, well, just a little while ago. The Produce Place in Delhi there in Cape May, New Jersey. We're going to have to check that out. I know a couple of friends of mine like to go down to Cape May pretty much every chance they get, so if I don't get there, I know they will, and they'll do that for me. And hopefully if Brad Cressley and Kathy Ekman are listening, next time one of you guys gets down to Cape May, you've got to check out Produce Place in Delhi down there in Cape May, New Jersey.
Well, I tell you what, right now, Mike McConville would love to check out that 6th position and get that away from Nick Hansen there, who has managed to bop his way up 11 spots. Ooh, he is going to get into the back of Anthony Savignano. Just a little bit of a nod to upset the car. Here comes Mike McConville putting a bumper to Nick Hansen. We got a yellow flag as Tony Burt has registered as crashing. Oh man, what trouble that Tony Burt got into. But Mike McConville, nonetheless, running at 7th position right now. Down 3 spots. He was, the 4th position. Now he's running P7.
We're going to take a look here at Tony Burt and see what happened here with the 4 machine. As he was trying to work his way up here in 17th position on the lead lap, just behind Chris Claude, and he gets bit by the cold tire bug. He came in on 141. And just gently noses his way there onto the concrete barrier on the inside of the front stretch here. So obviously Tony Burt a little frustrated. Just sent a flag out here to my 2 people that usually travel down to Cape May, New Jersey to see if they have been to Produce Place in Delhi. Parker Retzlaff leading this race, as now he is going to come down pit road officially with 45 laps to go. He, Brockton Packard, Ethan Ball, Anthony Savignano, and Nick Hansen, all of them coming down pit road.
I mean, this could be the last pit stop that these guys actually need, barring anything crazy happens at the end of this thing. As we were watching Parker Retzlaff there on pit road, rights go up, lefts go up. New Goodyears. Instead of Dr. Feelgood and fill a tank full of Go Fast, and he is down and away.
Parker Retzlaff going to come out 9th position. That's going to be kind of tough for him to try to fight through some of this traffic. Of course, Chris Claude, Alexander Gangler, they came down on 128. Now there's going to be a bunch of fresh tires from 9th position through 14th from Retzlaff to Sylvain Joly. And I'm curious to see what these drivers are going to do. There's 6 of them there that are going to have to get through all of this traffic ahead of them. Trent Curtis last came down on lap number 92, and he's going to stay out, so either he knows that he can beat Sam Bolin here in the 67, or he's gambling with his life here on lap 157.
I wouldn't say it's the over on gambling with his life. So right now, Trent Curtis is going to be your race leader. Anthony Bolin in that P2 spot, up 22 spots. But if you go back to 4th position, John Wilco is up 33 spots after these pit stops here at lap 157.
John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, has the 62 all kinds of cranked up. As it says, put the phone away or pay. That's a new initiative here in Pennsylvania. Apparently, it's not only no texting while driving, but no looking at your phone while driving. And, you know, I feel like that law here in PA was probably written because somebody had gotten pulled over for texting while driving, and they said, no. I wasn't texting while driving. I was checking the weather. That's not texting. That's checking the weather.
We have a similar law here. And
So
we do the
legislature does what government does, and they turn around and say, okay, smarty pants, we'll legislate that out of your car too.
But what that wish we had here in Missouri, that would be a helmet law for motorcycle rides.
We don't have a helmet law in Pennsylvania anymore.
We don't here in Missouri either.
Quite frankly, if you want to scramble your eggs on the highway, that's up to you. If I have a choice between dying in a vicious motorcycle crash or living as a vegetable because I was wearing a helmet, I think I'll take, the death.
Fair. But right now, Trent Curtis is going to take the outside as the iRacing.com pace car pulls off, makes a hard left turn. We are down and away. And look at the jump that Curtis gets coming back to green.
Richard Pruitt in the YouTube.com live chat saying that we should find a replay of his last lap. He barrel rolled like 7 times and hit the catch fence. Richard, give me a lap number and I'll see if I can go back and find it, because I didn't see you as having registering as crashed, which is nothing new. Sometimes timing and scoring does drugs.
Sorry.
I'm looking here. In fact, while I'm scanning through these, I know, obviously if Richard said it, it's got to be true.
Well, right now, Trent Curtis is doing Trent Curtis things almost a half second over Daniel Monahan. Here comes Sam Bolin in that 67 car. But, Parker Retzlaff, you mentioned, started in 9th position. Guess what? He's at a P3 already.
Retzlaff isn't going to be held down for long, that's for sure, as we work lap 161, 40 to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. I'm still looking here for Richard Pruitt's last lap. And we're under caution, so that gives me a little bit more time to search for it. Now, if only Richard Pruitt would be listening to me. That'd be great.
You found it, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
He's on his 143. I gotta be getting close. Oh, here we go. This is the Richard Pruitt crash. Let's watch the 24. And wow, how did we not see that back on 143? Let's look at that from the gyro cam here. This was back on lap 144. Here's Pruitt holding on for dear life.
Oh.
He sees the wreck happen in front of him. And I'm getting motion sick just sitting here watching this.
Well, He did beg for Oprah Winfrey to save him.
I'll tell you what, if I was him, I would too. As we go back for the cause of this is Mike McConville going off track. So I hope that this isn't Mikey Mack getting another taste of bad luck. Here comes Savignano down the track, and he and Mike McConville tried to occupy the same space at the same time. And it sends McConville into the grass. He manages to recover it and get himself back on the racing surface, but the damage done already to the one. About 7.5 minutes left here in the NHL season, and right now Florida Panthers leading the Edmonton Oilers 2-1. This could be it for the Oilers. At this point, you almost want to pull your goalie with this much time left in the game just to see if you can use that sixth man.
To me, pulling the goalie is almost like it makes as much sense about as me staying out on pit road or off pit road. Well, Daniel Monahan has everything to lose as when we go back to green, and he finds Parker Retzlaff lined up next to him on that inside. And I don't know if you saw this, Dave, but a picture came up on my Facebook feed of Park Jefferson Speedway here in Iowa, and it is currently underwater. And we had they ended up canceling the High Bank Nationals, which is a World of Outlaws sprint car race at Houston Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota, due to flooding. So hopefully the fans and drivers alike did not lose too much as they found their motorhomes and RVs underwater.
Motorhomes and RVs underwater? You must be kidding me.
Never.
Had to clean off the old windscreen here from the mic. Richard Pruitt, I just ran the replay there, so take a look back there and check that out. That was a pretty good deal. Now I see the link that you sent there.
Well, I tell you what, Daniel Mooneyhan, Parker Retzlaff on the inside. iRacing.com pace car hits the pit lane one more time. Lap 165, and we are green flag racing. What a jump by Daniel, and here comes Parker. But don't look now. Here comes Nick Hansen. Almost like he popped out the closet. Parker Retzlaff doing Parker Retzlaff things. Here comes Daniel Monahan looking to the inside. So we got a whole gaggle of cars there, and that looks like it's Ethan Ball and Anthony Savignano.
Yeah, they're starting to get hot and heavy back here. 6 cars in the battle as side by side goes Ron Fitting and Sylvain Joly just behind Sam Boleyn and Brockton Packard. Here on lap 167, we're starting to tick them off pretty nicely here. Ethan Ball running up into 4th position with Nick Hansen running in P3. Ethan Ball, though, about to be challenged for P4 by Anthony Savignano in the 50. Looks like Mike McConville, meanwhile, on another recovery drive running back in 11th position. He's got to get around the 23 of Derek Bacorn. As now he almost takes the apron to give Bacorn enough room. And now Mike McConville trying to march forward, putting Ron Fitting in the crosshairs.
Yeah, crosshairs, no hair, long hair. Mike McConville on the extreme inside, almost riding that yellow line. Here he comes, making the move. We got a car into the wall. It's a 23 car.
That's 23 car of Derek Bacorn trying to recover.
Ooh.
I would say that there's definitely something amiss. Whoa, hey, easy there, big fella. Maybe it's time to tow. Let's see if we can take a look here and see what this looked like from the blimp, as the blimp just happened to be hovering nearby.
I thought I told Matt Mettler to put that thing on the ground.
Nah, it's fine. McConville swings out just in front of him. The 23 taps the 67, gets in front of Trent Curtis, and then gets spun. Oh! Lord. The 27 of Randall Watkins just annihilated him in the Miller Lite machine.
Well, that is one big can of Miller Lite.
Now, Miller Lite is a beer that I can get on board with. Let's watch this from Randall Watkins' perspective here out of Miami, Florida. Randall rolls out of turn 4. He sees the wreck happening. He stays high. But now that blink that came from just in front of him, and I can't tell who that was. I couldn't see who that was that blinked out in front of Randall. But that was just enough to throw his line of vision off. And now with 30 laps to go, Parker Retzlaff has regained the lead in front of Nick Hansen. Ethan Ball up 28 spots. So is Sylvain Jolie. John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania starts in 37th and now runs in 11th.
Here
I wish
we go.
Wilco used Discord because I feel like I'd pick on him a lot more since he's from McAdoo. So John Wilco, if you're listening, for crying out loud, it's a free download. Get Discord so I can holler at you during the race and we can talk 570. Of course, by 570, I'm referring to the area code where John Wilco lives. You can check that out there. McAdoo, Pennsylvania, about 2 blocks long. Kennedy Drive, the only street worthwhile as you're on your way. That's technically Route 93. No, I lied, 309. 93 goes into Tresco. And in Schuylkill County, that's called 309, not 309. You know, one of these days, you got to come up here. We'll go to Pocono one summer, okay? Go check out the race over there, and I'm going to get you in all these little towns that are around Pocono, so that I can finally put a place with a name for you.
We'll do that the same summer you come to Illinois. We'll go watch the PDC.
Deal.
Done.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Lock it up. Set it in stone.
Well, I've run out of water in my big Reese Hoskins Philadelphia Phillies cup, so folks, we got to end this race tonight. 2 hours and 9 minutes right now on the race clock. 172 laps in the books. As Parker Retzlaff leads this piece now, as we are in the middle of an eye-pacing festival. 19 cautions on the night, 18 of them for cause.
I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that the World of Outlaws Case Construction late model feature ends before this race does.
I don't know, this is the time of night where sometimes I got to stand up to keep myself fresh. A little bit of gas never killed anybody.
iRacing.com pace car getting these guys lined up 2 by 2. Nick Hansen has umbopped his way all the way up 15 spots. He's on the outside of that front row with Parker Retzlaff on the inside. Parker Retzlaff taking the inside line like he's done all night long. Clear eyes for Nick Hansen there as he's on the P2 spot. iRacing.com pace car makes a hard left turn. Here comes Parker Retzlaff. Geico restart zone, and we are down in green. Parker Retzlaff gets a jump like nobody's business. He is out, and we are. Derek Backhorn crashed. Jumped to the pit, so we stay mean and green.
Taking a look here, Ethan Ball in the 96. He runs right now In 5th position, he's got Brockton Packard on the low side. We look behind them to Ron Fitting and Sylvain Joly getting ready to duke it out as well. Things starting to come a little bit more into focus here with 25 laps to go next time by, as we are on lap 175 of 200 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Sylvain Joly just ahead of Mike McConville and trailing Anthony Savignano by 0.3 of a second. All of a sudden, Trent Curtis in to dance just alongside of the Grease Monkey Motorsports number 3 of Ron Fitting. Fitting in 10th position while Sylvain Joly leads Mike McConville in a battle for 7th. They are side by side coming out of turn 4 down the front chute. Mike McConville gets the edge this time. He's going to sit in 7th position and now sets his sights on Anthony Savignano.
Oh man, Mike McConville right there behind Ethan Ball in that 6th position. Cape May, New Jersey's very own Mike McConville. Gotta hand it to him. He's hit everything but the pace car tonight, but he's still managing to run 7th.
McConville is one of those drivers that will absolutely not give up. He has that's not in his vocabulary. The word no to him is an acronym for next opportunity. And he is out here looking for that next opportunity to try to get up and around the 63 of Brockton Packard. The 96 of Ethan Ball rides the low side. All of a sudden, these drivers now, with 23 laps to go here at New Hampshire, are trying to find themselves some real estate on the asphalt. Things are getting tighter, the tension's getting higher, the speeds are getting faster, and my God, the race is getting hotter.
And the cautions will get plentiful.
Why you gotta go there?
It worked.
You're like my personal rain cloud. Or maybe if we talk about it, it won't happen. And you know what? The drivers aren't wrong. You know, when we get into this 3rd stage, you know, everybody's figured things out. Everybody's kind of worked their way through this race. And what it really does is it allows these drivers to now finally put on the show that they've been waiting for all night long. Here on lap 179, Mike McConville running in 8th position. All of a sudden, he and Trent Curtis are going to go side by side. Curtis here looking to the rear of McConville, trying to take some air off the back end of that one machine. Can't do it here, as it looks like Curtis might have gotten just a little bit tight here coming out of turn 4, as now he comes on down the front chute. Anthony Savignano makes contact with the 96. The 96 holds on to it. Talk about saving the day, but we suddenly go 3 wide. Mike McConville the top, Anthony Savignano the Capicola ham right there in the middle of that sandwich.
Oh man, what a stage there. Here comes Savignano, not giving up too quickly there and giving in to Mike McConville.
My attention is definitely split tonight as I'm paying attention to Game 7 of the NHL. We're paying attention here to the MNN Xfinity Series at New Hampshire. Chris Claude running in 16th position right now, staying on the lead lap, and that's always a goal of Chris Claude. Hey, I just want to finish on the lead lap. That's what Chris says. And you got to remember, Chris came out here, he qualified back in 27th position. He now runs in 16th. Enough drivers have screwed themselves over tonight where, you know, Chris is able to pick up those positions and move deeper and deeper into the field. Alexander Gangler gets around Norman, Oklahoma's Brandon Minto, but only for a second, as now all of a sudden Minto here working the low side of Gangler, trying to take that position back from him in this battle for 14th.
Yeah, Alexander Gangler up 26 spots. Here comes Brandon Minto on the outside. Almost want to put it up there near the wall, and that, in what we call, Dave, is the cushion. That real thin line that you can run that makes you just suddenly faster, gives you a ton of horsepower. But here comes Alexander Gangler. Brandon Minto just outside of your screen. And right now, Alexander Gangler is running in that 14th position. Here comes Brandon Minto and Chris Claude Chris Claude running P16. He's up 11 spots where he started from. Here comes Alexander Gangler. Parker Russell continues to do Parker Russell things. Right now, here comes Brandon Minto on the outside of Chris Claude. They're looking to make it 3 wide. Coming out of 4, and they just do not succeed.
Now coming out of 2 and down the backstretch is Chris Claude. I apologize, my microphone was off there for just a moment. As we were watching that battle with Chris Claude, as he is now side by side with Alexander Gangler and looking on from behind. Right here is Brandon Minto, and that's something that we don't see very often. Somebody leading Brandon Minto, especially when that's... Whoa! Chris Claude just scaring the bejesus out of Gangler, hauls it back down in front of Minto. And all of a sudden, Chris Claude running in 14th position after qualifying back in 27th. Chris Claude suddenly becoming aggressive here tonight.
Look, Chris Claude, he's a nice guy, but something's got to give. He's got to start making aggressive moves. As we're working 12 or 13 to go, rather.
They're polishing Lord Stanley's Cup with about 1 minute 35 seconds left in the NHL season. Chris Claude coming down the backstretch in 14th position. He finally has some breathing room behind him. Parker Retzlaff, speaking of breathing room, about 2 seconds back to Daniel Moynihan out of Boston, Massachusetts. He's been running on that Dunkin' Midnight Blend, but he can't seem to seal the deal as Mike McConville on the recovery drive is working his way toward the rear bumper of Nick Hansen. We're going to go on board here with McConville. With 12 laps to go, it looks like he may have enough to get around Nick Hansen. He wants that podium finish, and by God, he's going to get it if he really applies himself here in the waning laps of the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series race live at Loudon, New Hampshire. Rally towels are out in Florida to celebrate the Florida Panthers as they lead the Edmonton Oilers 2-1 here with 1:35 left in the NHL season. In that 23-24 season. Oh my goodness, we are going to see a Florida Panthers win as Lord Stanley's Cup is just backstage there off the ice being polished up one more time by a guy who looks like Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister of England.
Oh no. 10 to go, and while you're I'm also keeping an eye on the Case Construction World of Outlaw late model features. Nick Hoffman is leading Bobby Pierce and Brandon Shepard. Parker Retzlaff is leading Daniel Moynihan and Nick Hansen.
50 seconds left in the period here. Edmonton going with the empty net to get the extra attacker on the ice. Oh my God. They're fighting, they're picking. Oh no, Florida's going to let this one trickle. 26 seconds left. It goes into the back of the... Nope, it doesn't. The clock keeps winding in Miami. 13 seconds.
Here comes Parker Retzlaff. 2-second lead over Daniel Moynihan.
4, 3, 2, 1. The horn sounds and the Florida Panthers are your 2023-2024 NHL champions. Lord Stanley's Cup making its way to South Florida.
Heck yeah.
Oh, my goodness. What a fantastic end to the NHL season. I can't wait for next year to watch any other team that's not the Flyers.
Wow. 7 to go. Parker Retzlaff is out to a 2-second lead. Keeping an eye on this World's Outlaw late model there about halfway through. Nick Hoffman drives it over the side of the banking there here in Independence Motor Speedway in Iowa.
Right now I'm watching Mike McConville here as he's getting ready to make the pass on Nick Hansen, and suddenly Trent Curtis is able to make that apron work down there in 1 and 2. 6 laps to go. I don't know if Mike McConville's got enough to get around Hansen in the Clear Eyes Chevrolet Camaro. Obviously, P1, that checkered flag already wrapped up and ready to go for Parker Retzlaff. Daniel Moynihan pretty much secure there in P2. But right now, that final spot on the podium, undecided with 5 laps to go, now 4 at the line, as Mike McConville hauls it out of turn 2 and down the back chute. He has got to find his way around. Oh, no. Trent Curtis might hamper him. If Trent Curtis gets on that left rear of McConville, that's going to steal away P4 from Mike McConville here, as we've got a 3-way battle for third. Nick Hansen driving like that thing is 4 wide with 4 to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is what we've been waiting for all night. This is what we were telling you about during the show open tonight about the racing here at New Hampshire. Nick Hansen bopping his way down the backstretch, holding back Mike McConville and Trent Curtis with 4 laps to go. Parker Retzlaff hauling it out of turn 4, crossing the start-finish line. We're 3 laps to go. Daniel Moynihan running in P2. He crosses the line. Nick Hansen holding off an angry pack of Hornets behind him. Nick Hansen here still trying to hold off Mike McConville and Trent Curtis as Trent Curtis looks to the inside of Hansen. Parker Retzlaff, your race leader, he rolls it out of turn 4 once, one more time. The popsicle sticks go in the air. We're 2 laps to go. Trent Curtis putting the move on Nick Hansen. He's secure. Oh, God. Hansen's going to take out the bumper of Trent Curtis as they are fighting like 2 kids in the back of the station wagon coming down the backstretch. Coming out of turn number 4 one final time is Parker Retzlaff. Now they nearly go side by side. Nick Hansen might wind up wrecking Trent Curtis before they get back to the finish line. The popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Parker Retzlaff qualified on the pole tonight, and here's the story of the race. Not only did he qualify on the pole, he shuffled himself around the racetrack a couple of times. He didn't like the way that the car was. He took a big swing at the setup, and now coming back to the start-finish line, it's Parker Retzlaff in the number 5 Funkaway Chevrolet, capturing the checkered flag here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. He's going to be followed by Daniel Moynihan and Trent Curtis. Coming across the line third, Nick Hansen and Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey, round out your top 5.
Wow, what a run by Parker Retzlaff. Pick up that win. Daniel Moynihan, what a run by Daniel and Trent Curtis. But I want to give a shout out to Nick Hansen, who finished 4th tonight, just outside the podium. As Parker Retzlaff brings it to the front straightaway, he's going to burn it down. Oh my goodness. What a drive by Parker.
Yeah, Parker Retzlaff here with a dominant finish tonight brings home the checkered flag, and you know, he's basically going back-to-back here. This is his 3rd win of the season. He won in his debut at Richmond Raceway. He wins last week at Iowa, and now tonight once again here at New Hampshire. And we're going to get a chance to talk to him right now. Hey, Parker, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Hey, man, listen, you go back-to-back. You win at Iowa last week. You win here at New Hampshire this week. Obviously, you've got the number of these mile speedways. What say you, and how did that 5 feel after you made the big swing?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I didn't feel like my big swing I made there was made it any better, but I kind of took all that back out and made a different change, went a different direction, and it made it a lot better there for the last 50 laps of the race. It was a lot better than the start of the race, so I'm happy with my changes and happy to get another one.
Yeah, the best move of the night was when you deked everybody out, pretending you were going to go down pit road. You even fooled us. You were just close enough that you almost, I mean, you fooled timing and scoring. I mean, look, you come into this league, you pick up 3 wins on the season. What are you thinking about as now we start to move deeper into the summer? And, of course, some of these races are going to get hot and heavy as we move further into the season.
Yeah, I mean, I just I try and race when I have time, and you know, maybe if I can get myself to that top 20 in points, I can have a chance to race for the championship.
Well, and we appreciate you using that spare time. I know that you've got a busy life there in the Xfinity series, and quite frankly, we appreciate you coming here and hanging out with us every Monday night as things have gone. Before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank, and who helps you get it done on the 5 machine?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to thank everyone that I race with every week, who's all, you know, partying on the front stretch, and you know, Funkway for everything they do, and everyone supports me.
All right, Parker, thanks very much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
That, of course, the voice of your race winner, Parker Retzlaff. Next, and certainly not least, running on that Duncan Midnight Blend is Daniel Moynihan. Hey, Daniel, it's Dave up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen, you bring home P2 tonight behind Parker Retzlaff. That's got to be a feather in your cap to go P2 to a professional race car driver.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the last 50 laps or so, I was like telling myself, I mean, there's, you know, you got to kind of roll the car around the turns. And I was like, man, I got to roll it like Retzlaff. And I just kept telling myself that. But, I mean, obviously, he has a lot more experience in these things than I do. But, yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy with the results tonight.
And you should be. I mean, P2 is still nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure. As we get deeper into the season, I mean, next week we head on down to Nashville to the Music City, and we're going to hit that super speedway. Well, they call it a super speedway. We can debate that at another time. But, you know, as we stand right now, I mean, this is definitely another feather in your cap. I mean, here you sit coming into tonight's race, 38th in points. Obviously, another top 5. This is going to be a big night for you in points.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really keeping track of the points, but I mean, you know, I just come out here, I have a blast, I try my best, and put my best effort forward, as best as I can every week.
And you certainly do. Listen, before we cut you loose tonight, who helps you get it done on the 53 besides that Duncan Midnight Blend?
Dude, I mean, you beat me to it. Dunkin' Donuts, that Midnight Blend, I had the guys in the pits, scored a little in there on the last stop, pushed me through. But shout out to my teammates, Joe Gibbs Racing. Obviously, we have a blast every week coming out here. You guys do a fantastic job calling these races. So thank you to you guys. Shout out to my boy Fozy. Might be watching the stream still. Shout out to some friends and family that might be watching the stream. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations. We'll see you in the Music City next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Alan, I believe you have with you now on pit road driver the number 13, Trent Curtis.
Trent Curtis didn't quite get it done, but nonetheless, he stayed on the podium. What was the secret sauce tonight of running up front and finishing P3?
Apparently, secret sauce was running my teammates like assholes, and I owe Nick Hansen and Mike McConville an apology for how I drove the last 5-10 laps. I hold myself to a higher standard. I doored 99 out of the way, and I shouldn't have. You know, they're running full time. I'm out here for fun, which wasn't much fun today. There's too many damn cautions on these ovals, man. That's why, I mean, Dave, you know for sure I love my road courses, and half the reason I love them is that you can actually get a flow of a race going, and you get some green flag runs. Just I think the longest run we had was at the end, and that's when everyone wrecked out. So I mean, Mike McConville puts a great setup underneath us, and it shows. I mean, I think we have pretty much the entirety of the seven out of the top, 6 out of the top 7 is. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, right? Especially when you have a NASCAR driver in your stable. But yeah, no, it's my calling card to have a good race going and screw up the pit road stuff. And I thought everyone was going to stay out. Everyone pitted, and I just had to scrap and claw to get my way back up. So, yeah, disappointing that's how I raced. Quite frankly, it's disgusting and stupid, but I mean, I guess that's just par for how everyone else raced here tonight. Yeah, just want to thank my teammates. Celsius car is really good, and I'm just a little disgusted with myself and how this night went.
Well, next week we head to the Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Do you think you could? Are you going to be able to find yourself maybe getting 2 spots better? You think?
I don't know. I might be watching from the owner's box again. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Maybe Mike can convince me to run the race. I'm just tired of so many damn cautions, man. It's not even fun. And it's not even fun when you run your teammates over or like an asshole because you're pissed off at the world. So I don't know, probably not. But hopefully Mike or Nick or Ethan could get Brockton, Dennis, Keith. Maybe one of those guys can get the 2 spots that I can't.
Well, before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you'd like to think to help get you here tonight?
Like I said, Mike McConville is mad scientist, best man in the business when it comes to setups. He's the reason we're in contention. Produce Place in Delhi in Cape May, New Jersey. We'd like to thank them for coming aboard. They were on Mike's number 1, and they're on the back bumper of my 13. Can't thank them enough for coming aboard. Everyone from Jordan Anderson Racing, everyone at Trent Curtis Racing. I know it's kind of like patting yourself on the back and say thank you to my own team, but do want to give a shout out to the Moran family for helping me out this weekend, and Excalibur Racing Engines also for helping me out this weekend out in Eldora. Thank my parents for their support of my real racing adventures. My Saturday didn't go great. The solace I could take is that digital race cars are free. They don't cost anything. We break them, and I didn't have to travel 6 hours to have that. I just had to travel down to my computer. So thank you guys for putting the broadcast on. Hopefully you'll talk to two or three more Trent Curtis Racing, Jordan Anderson Racing drivers next week.
All right. Well, that's Trent Curtis, everybody. 3rd place finisher, and we'll hopefully see Trent in Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Back up to you, Dave.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Trent. As always, it's good to hear from our drivers, whether they have a good night or a bad night here on the racetrack. It's always interesting to hear the analysis that they're able to offer us at the end of a race. And quite frankly, Alan, it may have been a long one, but it was a good one here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Before we get out, let's take one final look here at our results. Parker Retzlaff brings home the checkered flag. He's followed on the podium by Daniel Moynihan and Trent Curtis. Oh, and now there we go. Nick Hansen and Mike McConville come home 4th and 5th to round out your top 5, while Brockton Packard comes home in 6th. Ethan Ball and Sylvain Joly come home in 7th and 8th, with Anthony Savignano and Ron Fitting rounding out your top 10. Alex Princeton comes home in 11th, with John Wilco in 12th. Sam Bolin and Chris Clogg come home 13th and 14th. Brandon Minto comes home 15th, with Alexander Gangler, Rich Jett, and Tony Burke coming home 16th, 17th, and 18th. 19th goes to John Bawalda, chief cook and bottle washer over there at Jackdaw Motorsports. Chris Custer rounds out your top 20. Derek Baycorn and Randall Watkins come home 21st and 22nd, with Dennis Mickelson, Rhinelander. He comes home in 23rd. Zach Osborne and Aaron Mack come home 24th and 25th, with 26th and 27th going to Richard Pruitt and Matt Mackin. Ken Ron and Michael Pilardi come home 28th and 29th, with Bobby Blazer making up the rest of your top 30. Bennett Allen and Gabriel Lafreniere finished 31st and 32nd, with 33rd going to Zachary Vaughn. Brad Gunn and Eugenio Alonso come home 34th and 35th, with Kavaja Holt coming home in 36th. Keith Black and John Crow Sr. make up the rest of the field as they finish things out here in 36th and 37th. Somebody had to do it, and unfortunately, it was those two drivers this evening. So for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner who's here on loan tonight, Mr. Alan Bergen, I want to thank you for joining us as well. And I want to thank everybody at home for tuning in tonight on Sim Racing Media here on YouTube.com. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications as we're working our way toward 4,000 subscribers here in the 2024 season. One more time, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And, of course, tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.